The following is a presentation of ESPN on ABC.
Welcome to ESPN on ABC College Football, presented by Kay Jewelers and Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research, as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. The fans fighting the cold here in Stillwater, Oklahoma. It was near zero when most of these folks woke up this morning. They've arrived at Boone Pickens Stadium for the latest get-together in a rivalry known as Bedlam, the Battle of Oklahoma. Today it's number 17, the Sooners of Oklahoma, making the short trip to Stillwater to take on the 6th-ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys. A win today in Oklahoma State clinches at least a share of the Big 12 title, and they'd also clinched the BCS berth for this conference because they have won head-to-head against both Baylor and Texas. The Longhorns and the Baylor Bears go head-to-head today, so the head-to-head tiebreaker would go to Oklahoma State. Hello, everybody, and welcome to frigid Stillwater. Sean McDonough, along with Chris Spielman, will be joined in a moment by Shannon Spake, who's down on the sidelines and not really enjoying the weather down there at the moment. Been a very interesting season for Oklahoma State, poised to win their second Big 12 conference title in the last 3 years. Gone back and forth a little bit at quarterback. Lately, they've gone with Clint Chelf, and he's played exceptionally well.
Well, Clint stabilized his offense. He's a capable runner, and he's a very good thrower. He's rhythm. But the thing that he brings to the table for me is that his toughness and the teammates and the players around him respond. The other thing, coming off a career-high 370 yards against Baylor, Clint has the ability to change the play at the line of scrimmage. He'll have to do that today, Sean, against a blitzing Oklahoma defense.
Dual threat quarterback, part of an Oklahoma State team that has won 7 in a row since their only loss in late September at West Virginia, a loss that looks much more stunning now. And you think about it, Oklahoma State could be poised today to be playing for the national championship game. That's still an outside possibility, but not very likely. They'd need a lot of dominoes to fall in their favor. Here come the Cowboys. Final home game for 28 seniors. They have a very large senior class, and that's a big part of their success. 20 seniors factor in significantly on their depth chart. They have 7 senior starters on a defense that has been much improved this year. And Chris, always a lot of emotion for seniors playing their last home game.
Well, it is, and it's hard to really focus on the game plan until you actually start playing. But the pre-game lead up to it, you look at your parents and your teammates, and you realize this is the final time I'm going to have this feeling in this stadium.
And then it's a rivalry game that is very emotional. Oklahoma State has won 9 in a row here at Boone Pickens Stadium. A win today would match the longest home winning streak in the history of this program. It's also a chance for an 11-win season for the 3rd time in the last 4 years. They had never won 11 games in the history of the program prior to these last 4 years. And not in a big hurry, Chris, to come on the field. And given the weather, I can't say that I blame them. And given the palatial conditions of their locker room,
yes,
I can't say that I blame them. That's been a big part of the resurgence of this program. The money spent, particularly by Boone Pickens and facilities and other aspects of the Oklahoma State football program, have really helped their recruiting. And here they come. Oklahoma doesn't have as much theoretically to play for. They have been eliminated from the Big 12 race for the first time since 2009. They come into this game without the Big 12 race being a factor. But just 2 losses. We saw Northern Illinois lose last night. Perhaps an outside shot for the Sooners at a BCS at-large bid. But first and foremost, they want to win this rivalry game. They've gone back and forth at quarterback. Today it's Trevor Knight.
Well, Trevor Knight brings the zone read concept to this offense. which accounts for Oklahoma State having to prepare to defend that. He's improved as a passer, Sean, coming off 171 yards against Baylor, a career high, or against Kansas State, excuse me. Here's what I'm talking about, the zone read. He's very patient with this. Watch his eyes. He sees the defensive end jump in, and he shows his burst to the goal line. Now, this is where he's improved. He's going to read the defensive back that's going to try to undercut the wide receiver, but he throws it over top of the defensive back on time and on target. Here's a young player that's playing with great confidence and gets better with each rep.
It's called Bedlam, and those people are called crazy, those without their shirts on today. Oklahoma State, the kickoff in a moment. Welcome back to Stillwater, 108th meeting all time. One of the great rivalries in the history of college football dates to 1904. They've played every year since 1910. Oklahoma has dominated, including lately 9 of the last 10 in the win column for the Sooners. They won in dramatic fashion in the first overtime game ever between these two teams last year in Norman. They never led in the game until they scored the game-winning touchdown in overtime.
He takes the snap. End zone, touchdown, Oklahoma. This time it's Brennan Clay. He busts free. Clay at the 5. Touchdown, and Bedlam's over.
That was indeed Bedlam, one of many memorable games between these two. Oklahoma won the toss and deferred, so Michael Honeycutt kicks off for the Sooners. And it comes down to the end zone. Was not fielded by Desmond Rowland. Here's Shannon Spake down on the field.
Well, Sean, I've certainly been accused of being soft when it's cold out there. I think even the toughest guy, yes, even you, Chris Spielman, would agree that it is cold right now. And because of that, it's going to be a little more high-maintenance game for these players and coaches. Hundreds of these hand warmers will be on the sideline. The players will have warm chicken soup during the game. During halftime broth, I should say. It'll be enriched with electrolytes, some of that. And some of the guys will put antiperspirant on their feet to prevent moisture. Now, Oklahoma practiced outside in the elements through Wednesday. Oklahoma State spent the entire week outside dealing with the snow and the cold. And the players we spoke to said that they do not think it's going to be an issue. In fact, linebacker Caleb Levy said, quote, "We can't be soft all of our lives." Guys?
Well, you can't be. And the thing that helps, the field is clear, Sean, and there's not a lot of wind, so it shouldn't affect how they run their offense.
Well, we didn't talk to a single player on either side who thought the weather would really be a factor once you get out there running around. It's not going to be very pleasant for the fans. Desmond Rowland turns the corner. Only one man has a chance to get him. Gabe Lynn, the angle, and it doesn't help him. Touchdown, Oklahoma State. 75 yards on the first play. And a flag down. Crowd just now seeing it, as are we. It looked like it was thrown late, way back at the 30-yard line.
Holding number 17 offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Greg Burks is the referee. Charlie Moore, the wide receiver, called for a very costly holding penalty.
Sees Charlie Moore right here matched up against Sanchez. First of all, they get a good lead block by the fullback, and right there the hands are outside and you see him grab and pull that jersey. You have to have the discipline to understand to get those hands off of him so your big man can do work and break the tackle on a corner.
Apparently the official's hand was cold trying to throw that flag, as it took a long time to hit the field. Now timeout called by Oklahoma on defense.
Timeout, Oklahoma.
Sooners coached by Bob Stoops in his 15th year. And with their win in their last game 2 weeks ago at Kansas State, he moved out of a tie with the legendary Barry Switzer and is now the all-time leader in wins among Oklahoma football coaches.
You can see he's very active in coaching up that secondary. They had some mental mistakes in their last game against Kansas State, and you know, mental mistakes in the secondary, everybody thinks that's if a big pass goes against you, but it's also run responsibility, and right, they were not sound. The safeties filled inside. They should have been outside, pushing the ball back into the pursuit of the defense.
Mike Gundy has led the Cowboys into this and through this best era in the history of their football program, but the one negative number is that 1-7 record in the Bedlam series. His team is the favorite today, about a 10-point favorite, according to the newspaper this morning. First down and 13 after a 75-yard touchdown was called back on the opening play. Jeremy Smith to the 31. It'll be 2nd and 4. He was the featured back early in the year, and then Desmond Rowland came on and supplanted him as the starter.
It's always good to have two, and he's a strong senior, part of a strong senior class that provides leadership for this team, especially on the defensive side, but he certainly brings it to the offense.
Clint Chelf, senior from Enid, Oklahoma. And there is a false start, so the Cowboys hurting themselves with penalties on this opening possession.
False start. Number 44 offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Jeremy Seaton, fullback for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, they run a little bit of a diamond formation, Sean, where they'll put two fullbacks in the backfield. And it's almost like an inverted wishbone. I call it the Y bone, they call it the diamond.
Josh Stewart going in motion. He is their leading receiver for the year, but it's a deep and balanced receiving crew. They spread out the receptions. Chelf sidearm throw off the hands of Charlie Moore. It'll be 3rd down. Chelf, J.W. Walsh have alternated at quarterback. He's from a football family. Father and brother played here. And coming off a terrific game against Baylor, completed his first 12 passes against the Bears. Third down and 10. Sooners showing blitz. And more movement along the offensive line.
False start. Number 71 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
The right guard, another one of those seniors, Parker Graham.
Yeah, they're holding their cadence for a long time, and when it gets cold and you're 3rd down as an offensive lineman, you're expecting them to get the pass rush, so sometimes you get a little impatient and you're prone to jumping early.
3 penalties already against Oklahoma State. One of them brought back a 75-yard touchdown on the opening play of the game. Chelf on 3rd and 15 throws behind his receiver Tracy Moore, and it's incomplete.
That's a missed opportunity right there for the Cowboys. Clint Chelf had his guy open and the 1st down. Timing off a little bit. Plus they got the mulligan with the touchdown called back because of holding. Good start for the Sooners.
Range of emotions for the Cowboys. Thought they had an electrifying touchdown on the first play. Jalen Saunders brings back the Kip Smith punt. Great field position near midfield for the first series for the Sooners after a 35-yard punt and return of 6. Here's Trevor Knight, redshirt freshman from San Antonio, Texas. The 4th freshman quarterback to start and win a season opener at Oklahoma. And like Chelf, coming off his best game, career high passing yardage total and also 82 yards rushing. The others, by the way, to start and win an opener is freshman Sam Bradford, Eric Moore, and Steve Collins. Knight started the first 2 games of the year, suffered a knee injury. Blake Bell took over, started the next 8, then he suffered a concussion. Knight returned in their last game and was terrific. He runs outside for about 2, taken across the boundary by the strong safety Lindell Johnson. Let's take a look at today's impact players. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Well, Brendan Clay coming off a career high 200 yards in the last game. Jalen Saunders, an outstanding pass catching threat, and on defense you need to be sound up front. Calvin Barnett provides good run and pass rush, and maybe the top corner in the country, Justin Gilbert.
He has 6 interceptions. They think he'll be a first-round pick. Knight keeps again. taken down by Sean Lewis. It's a first down inside the 40 after a run of 9. And Lewis, another one of those seniors, team leader out of Missouri City, Texas, part of a very talented linebacker group.
Yeah, he is a good player, and that's the element that Knight brings to the table, that zone read. Blake Bell cannot run it. Knight runs it and runs it very efficiently.
When Bell's in there at quarterback, he's more of a power runner, where Knight better on the edges, better in space, found some space, and a first down. Inside the 25, banged down by Daquan Lowe. 13 more for Trevor Knight.
Yeah, it's their version of the triple option. You see, they fake the dive, and what I like about Trevor Knight, the more reps and more games he gets under and more experience, the better decisions he makes. Great vision for a quarterback, and he's patient when he runs the option in the zone read.
Leading the team at nearly 8 yards per rush. 3 receivers to his left, and a single receiver very wide to the right. Single coverage toward the end zone. Neither player seemed to see the ball coming. It was out of the back of the end zone. A flag thrown, intended for Brennan Clay, with Kevin Peterson in coverage.
And they were tangled up doing hand-to-hand combat down there.
Looked like Clay was blocking and didn't realize he was the intended receiver.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 24. First down.
And this is a good call, Sean, because it's actually a designed run with the option to pass, but Clay doesn't get the message. I had guards and tackles pulling downfield. Clay's thinking that play. Trevor Knight was reading something different. Don't get on the sidelines to correct that, but I don't blame him because it was a designed run.
Ball all the way back to the 39-yard line, out of field goal range. Lined up in the pistol with Clay, the running back. Knight keeps it again, and this time they smother him at the line of scrimmage. James Castleman, part of that defensive front.
One reason why they smother him, and you watch this Oklahoma State Cowboy defense on film, they're very smart, they're unselfish, and they play their gaps. Exactly what Caleb Levy did, the outstanding senior linebacker, forced that ball inside to the on-block players coming from the defensive right, and there's Glenn Spencer, who's done an outstanding job bringing these guys together and coaching them up.
6th year on the staff, 1st year as the coordinator, took over for Bill Young. They're giving up just under 10 points per game fewer than a year ago. Knight's pass batted down to the line of scrimmage by Calvin Barnett. Chris just mentioned on the impact players, he's an impact player, despite the fact that he seems to get a lot of double teams week to week. There's some of the defensive improvement numbers that we mentioned. They go heavily by points allowed per possession because they're on the field so much. Their offense scores so quickly. The offense averages just 26 minutes per game of possession. So they don't look at the total yards because they generally on defense have to defend a lot more plays than many of the other teams in the country.
And this is where they feel like they can match up with Oklahoma man-to-man.
And Knight's in trouble, got away from the rush. Now he's across the line of scrimmage and chased out at the 36.
Well, again, the patience, and another improvement in his game is that he's not rushing things. That time he's forced out of the pocket. You got Sam Wren showing outstanding speed along with Lindell Johnson. One thing about the Cowboy defense, not only are they smart, but they also hustle and play hard every single play. But a good job by Knight keeping the play alive, not taking a sack or making a bad decision.
Jed Barnett to punt. Josh Stewart, very dangerous punt return man. He's brought back 2 for scores this season. Oklahoma State 7th in the nation in punt return, but what a punt that is by Barnett. And it's going to be downed at the 1-yard line by Trey Franks. Outstanding work by the junior punter. 35 yards, pinning Oklahoma State very deep.
This telecast is available in high definition. Brought to you by Vizio.
Oklahoma State trying to win its 2nd Big 12 championship in the last 3 years. Some big wins, particularly lately. Wins at Texas and here against Baylor in their last couple of games. Mike Gundy said we're really fortunate that the schedule got more difficult late in the year because we played much better late in the year. Struggled through some mixtures on the offensive line, just trying to get out of the hole here from their own one on first down. Des Roland gets them out to the 5, but they had injuries on the offensive line and some inexperience. They had injuries at wide receiver. So in the middle of the year, they were really just trying to find their way. Then Chelk settled in at the quarterback position. And boy, have they been off and running lately.
And they stopped going tempo, Sean. They weren't getting an advantage going at high speed, so they slowed it down, operate more efficiently.
They'll try to go at a good pace, but just not at warp speed. Roland again, tackled by P.L. Lindley. And the coaches said it was just too fast when you're trying to communicate along in an experienced offensive line. And when you don't have depth at wide receiver, those guys get tired when they continually have to sprint back to the line of scrimmage.
They play 4 just about every down, so they certainly get their use out of them.
They have 4 now on 3rd down and 2. 4-man rush for Oklahoma, and the swing pass is dropped by Desmond Roland. Very shaky start for Oklahoma State after that touchdown on the first play from scrimmage was wiped out. Penalties, balls that haven't been well thrown, and that one dropped.
There's the point you just made right there. Balls that haven't been well thrown. Certainly he's capable of making those throws. He throws the first one where they had a first down in the first series behind, and that time he throws one in the dirt on a little swing pass that would have went for a first down.
Pip Smith, well, you could hear the thud when he punted that ball. It's like punting a rock under these conditions. Fair catch made by Jalen Saunders. A 45-yard punt. No score.
ABC College Football, presented by Kay Jewelers. Kay Jewelers, every kiss begins with K. Dr. Pepper, always one of a kind. And the all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado.
There was a snow and ice storm here Thursday into Friday. The governor declared a state of emergency. About 3 inches of snow here. Stadium personnel did a great job clearing the field and the stands. The university employees came over to help, manning shovels, and they even asked for volunteers. Some folks showed up yesterday just to help clear out Boone Pickens Stadium and get it ready for this Bedlam game. Out of the pistol, Trevor Knight. Swing pass to Sterling Shepard with running room. And a first down. Out of bounds in Cowboy territory at the 41. That's a gain of 12.
It's all about matchups. Anytime you can get number 3 explosive player like Sterling Shepard on the linebacker number 11 Sean Lewis for Oklahoma State out in space, they'll take that all day long.
Roy Finch lined up behind Knight now. He gets the call and gets buried at the line of scrimmage. Calvin Barnett, who's already been fighting off some double teams with help from Tyler Johnson.
Well, Sean, he is active inside. He's a defensive tackle. Not getting too high, spinning, swimming, doing anything he can do to make a play for his team. His good play helps the linebackers play well, and that's what these Oklahoma State linebackers have benefited from, that stud in the middle, Barnett.
We talked to Josh Heupel, the offensive coordinator for Oklahoma. First player he mentioned on the Cowboy defense was Barnett. And a problem on the handoff. Looked like Knight was trying to pull it back, and it hit the ground. He recovered it with Tyler Johnson nearby.
Right there, that's on Knight. He's got to be able to give that ball, make the decision just a little bit quicker. He decided to keep it at the last second, and Finch says, give me the ball. I can make something happen.
Finch and Clay not wearing long sleeves today, in part because they want to field that ball against their arms on these option plays. 3rd down and 12. 5 receivers spread the field. Knight throws, and it's incomplete. Jazz Reynolds had his hands on it but couldn't hang on near the first down marker, and the All-American candidate Justin Gilbert broke it up.
Well, I love Justin Gilbert because of his length, but right there, the step and the break on the football, knowing he can't get to the ball but understands of playing the arms of the wide receiver, executed at its highest level. for Justin.
There's Jed Barnett to punt again. His last one was down to the 1-yard line. Josh Stewart back deep for it. Can they get there again to down it? Yes, they do. It's Trey Franks again at the 1-yard line. Let's send you back to the studio. Here's Robert Flores.
All right, Sean, Taco Bell studio update. Rice has not won an outright conference title since 1957, but they're up 14-0 on Marshall in the Conference USA title game. Taylor McCogg to Jordan Taylor. 14-0 Rice on ESPN2. Sean, Chris.
Rice has had a terrific year. Big 12 does not have a conference championship game, but as Texas coach Mac Brown said earlier this week, there are really two of them today. This one and the Baylor-Texas game. Both games impact the conference title. Jawan Seals has a first down for Oklahoma State. They get out of the hole at the 1-yard line with a completion out to the 13.
Yeah, just to get your quarterback in rhythm, throw the short side of the field hitch to Seals. Excellent job of hurling defender, getting a first down, and maybe getting some confidence for Clint Chelf.
It's his first completion. He started 0 for 3. Nice hole up the middle. Desmond Rowland gets about 7. Here's Shannon.
Well, Sean, as you can imagine, Oklahoma State offensive coach is not happy with all the penalties. Jamal Singleton, running back coach, just pulled his guys to the side and he told them this is unacceptable. Not how we play football. Get out there, be physical, but clean it up.
The offensive line was the one with the penalties. The running backs actually have played pretty solid.
Rowland goes in motion. This time they complete that swing pass, and he has a first down. Belted out of bounds by the safety Quentin Hayes. First down, Cowboys near the 30.
It's amazing what one completion can do for a quarterback. And just right here, this time it's right on target. Then when you have a play, Charlie Moore and Stewart blocking downfield for the big Rowlands, that's what you want. And that's execution at the highest level, just like the staff was calling for.
Rowland managed to slide through the hole as another first down. And they're into Sooner territory. To the 48-yard line. Gabe Lynn the tackle. 23 yards on the gain for the junior from Dallas.
Well, I love the jump cut by Rowland. 6'2", 210. A big man making a cut like that, finding the open area, getting positive yards because of his patience and vision.
Their first snap in Oklahoma territory. Whistle stopped the action right before the snap. Frank Shannon down on the field right by the Sooner sideline.
Starting middle linebacker for the Sooners, and the quarterback of that defense makes a lot of the front calls to make sure they're in position. If he's hurt, that's a big loss to that Sooner front seven.
They already lost one of their best defensive players, Corey Nelson, to a torn pec. That happened in the TCU game, 5th game of the year. Outstanding player. They also lost one of their best players on offense, Trey Millard, hybrid fullback, H-back tight end type, who was productive both in the run and pass game and a very important blocker. So they've done well to get to this point at 9-2 with a key injury on each side of the ball. And today, with a mix and match offensive line, there are 2 starters on the left side of the offensive line all year long. Tyrus Thompson and Adam Shedd both out with leg injuries today, so they've had to move some folks around, most notably their left tackle Derek Farniok, who's a first-time starter. But it's the Cowboys on offense now. This is their first snap in Sooner territory. They had the long touchdown called back in the first play of the game. Jeremy Smith goes for about 8 more. Yanked down by Dominique Alexander. P.L. Lindley also in on the play for Oklahoma.
Get the feeling that the Cowboys just want to establish their physical presence. They have big, powerful back, Sean, and a big offensive line that can move people. Really the size, 300 plus across the board.
Smith again. As you said, that line opening up holes. He found another and has a first down to the 34 where the safety Quentin Hayes made the stop.
Well, you got a problem right now when your safety, who's lined up about 10 yards, is the first guy to make contact. Quentin Hayes does a good job of avoiding the block, or that could be a much more of a gain. But when a running back is getting to the safeties, that's a bad sign for your defense.
Josh Stewart turns the corner. He's inside the 15 and out of bounds. Eric Stryker made the stop for Oklahoma.
Well, he's an explosive football player, so as a coach you create ways to get him the ball. Not only do they use him on punt returns, but the jet sweep, little short passes. You see Josh Stewart certainly knows what to do with the ball when he gets it in his hands.
He's actively involved as a runner. This is 9th carry of the year from his wide receiver position, and a 20-yard gain, his longest as a runner. Comes the same action again. They flip it to him again. And he's inside the 10. Out of bounds at the 8.
That's what athletic ability will do for you. Take a 0 gain and turn it into a 6-yard gain as he threw a little shake. And Dominique Alexander to get positive yards.
First play to Stewart was a run. That last one deemed a pass on the forward motion, and now the forward motion goes to the 1-yard line by Des Rowland. Scott Gaines, the field judge, ruling him down at the 1. Crowd thought he was in. Scott says he bounced in.
Okay, just the movement of the offensive line, and Rowland is 4 yards downfield before he gets hit, and that might be a touchdown from this angle. Let's see if that knee goes down.
Yes, it did, but where's the ball? Is that over the plane? David Ames, the replay official, is going to take a look at it.
Well, that is close. And I think, Sean, even though it was spotted at the 1, if it's not a touchdown, I think you move that spot up a little bit closer to that goal line. And it looks that close on the replay.
No score, 4:13 to go. And that is a surprise. These Bedlam games in recent years in particular have been very high scoring. These replays are frozen at the same spot, we're told, from the truck, and from the angle in the smaller box on the left. I would say with his knees down, he's just short of the goal line. Or certainly you don't see enough there to say it was conclusive enough to change it. And the ruling on the field was down at the 1-yard line.
You just get the feeling that this offense is starting to take over, and Coach Gundy established, hey, we're going to get physical.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
So I mentioned it's surprising. Scoreless late in the first quarter. Oklahoma State has scored at least 40 points against the Sooners in 4 of the last 5 meetings, and the Cowboys have lost 3 of those games. Usually a shootout when these two get together. On 1st and goal, now it's a touchdown. Desmond Rowland. Ben Grogan, true freshman kicker, on to try the extra point. A 99-yard drive for Mike Gundy's Oklahoma State Cowboys. Took him 10 plays to do it. And after a rough start, Chelp was 4 for 4 on the drive. Rowland scored the touchdown. Friends, we hope you'll help us beat cancer. The V Foundation awards 100% of direct donations and net proceeds of events to fund cancer research. Log on to www.jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V to donate.
Well, it's amazing what Coach Valvano did to inspire people with cancer to fight, and the awesome research that they're doing. That's where the cure will be found through research.
Hip Smith kicks off. It'll be Roy Finch from the 4. And he stopped short of the 25-yard line. Tonight on ABC, the leading Heisman Trophy candidate Jameis Winston and the top-ranked Florida State Seminoles look to secure their spot in the BCS National Championship game with a victory over the 20th-ranked Duke Blue Devils, now ranked number 20 with a 10-win season for the first time in school history. It's the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship game tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC.
Interesting to see how Florida State responds after the situation with Jameis Winston was finally resolved, and Duke's going to need a perfect game, and they're going to need Florida State to make a lot of mistakes.
Now the 4-touchdown underdog, David Cutcliffe's team. Out of the pistol, Trevor Knight. Take the handoff to Brennan Clay and zings one for about 9. Jalen Saunders driven back by Justin Gilbert. And they're going to give Saunders a very favorable spot and perhaps even the first down.
Well, this is a very nice route. First of all, you sell upfield, you work back to the football. Now watch Gilbert right here. This is a little bit uncalled for with the belly-to-belly suplex. Be good on WWE Raw, but not on the football field. Surprised he did not get a flag, Sean.
I am too. On 2nd and short, Brennan Clay. Tough run. He dragged Sean Lewis along for a first down at the 39-yard line. First carry for Brennan Clay, who knows that he's not in his hometown of San Diego anymore.
He's a good back. I really liked watching him on film. Nice, powerful guy inside. Keeps those legs turning and always fighting for the extra yards.
He was one of the heroes in the Bedlam game last year in Norman when he scored the game-winning touchdown in overtime. Pistol again with Clay behind Trevor Knight. Calvin Barnett. Boy, you can see why the coaches rave about him. Sean Lewis up from the linebacker position as well.
One of the strengths of Calvin Barnett is not only is he solid against the run, but anytime you're an active pass rusher from that defensive tackle position, that's something that NFL scouts certainly look at as a benefit and something extra to your game. And the big fella right there can speed rush like a defensive end.
He's been a winner. Won a state championship in high school at Booker T. Washington in Tulsa. Won a junior college national title at Navarro in Texas. Now hoping to help the Cowboys win a Big 12 championship. His running mate Tyler Johnson just dropped Clay for no gain.
Not bad for a 28-year-old football player, and Tyler Johnson coming in on a nice stunt, beats the offensive tackle and goes where the ball is, not where the ball was, so he can make the play on the proper angle. Outstanding job by Tyler Johnson, former baseball player.
Signed with the Angels organization out of high school. Spent 6 years in the minors. Out of Haskell, Oklahoma. 3rd down and 10, under a minute and a half to go. A blitz by the Sooners. Knight on the run through the hands of LaColton Bester. Glenn Spencer, the defensive coordinator, all fired up as he congratulates the members of the D coming to the sideline.
They had an opportunity for a play. They were man-to-man, and the guy that was guarding Brennan Clay, Sean Lewis, came off of Brennan. It's just that Trevor Knight did not see him because it would have been a first down. And that'll come. They'll adjust on that on the sidelines. Josh Heupel will do a good job coaching them up, but that's something they might come back to versus man.
Well, Jed Barnett's going to pin one at the 1-yard line for the 3rd time in the quarter. He'll have to hit at 60 yards. Josh Stewart, fair catch at the 21-yard line, perhaps the 22. Oklahoma State with a win clinches a share of the Big 12 title. They could not win it outright because they're part of a 3-way tie right now with Baylor and Texas. And Baylor and Texas play each other today in the regular season finale. So they're guaranteed, if they win, of sharing the title, but they would go to the BCS game because the Cowboys have defeated both Baylor and Texas in their last 2 games. They would win the head-to-head tiebreaker. If Oklahoma State loses, and there are a lot of Baylor and Texas fans cheering for Oklahoma, the winner of that Baylor-Texas game wins this conference outright.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year in the Big 12, an exciting year, and teams have certainly played up to the challenges.
Swing pass, and Jeremy Smith made the catch, but it's a loss. Eric Stryker was right there, and it's a good thing for the Cowboys that Smith possessed that ball. Hard to tell if it was a forward pass or a lateral, and that made it a ball that Smith made to make sure he caught, because it could have been a fumble.
Good
Ruled
job.
a forward pass by the official stats. After the play fake, Chelf pass way behind Josh Stewart. Julian Wilson had the coverage, junior from Oklahoma City.
Certainly not the Clint Chelf that we watched, and struggling a little bit with his accuracy. Then, you know, you have to ask the question, is the cold bothering him? Is he getting a proper grip on the football? Because when he misses, he's missing all bad and off by a lot.
Third and 17. Sooners come with a 5-man rush, and that pass is incomplete. The crowd wants a flag. They're not going to get it. Intended for Marcel Aitman, the freshman, with Aaron Colvin, one of the best cornerbacks in the country, in coverage.
Yeah, he's outstanding, doing a good job of maybe getting away with a little hold, but I like there where he lets go, takes that back hand, comes off the jersey so he does not get called for holding an interference, and reaches around with his left arm to disrupt the route.
Kip Smith to punt. To Jalen Saunders. Good kick. Wind really not much of a factor here early in the game. Saunders with some running room. No flags on the field. Jalen Saunders. Touchdown, Oklahoma. A 64-yard punt return for a touchdown by Jalen Saunders. His second punt return for a touchdown this year. The extra point by Michael Honeycutt ties it. 49-yard punt, 64-yard return in a tie game.
Well, just the patience to set this up and the vision to cut it back outside, and the discipline of the punt return team not to hold, not to block in the back, get Jalen Saunders in space and let him do his work. Right here, that's the cut that made it. They lost contain on the outside, and just speed finishes the deal for Jalen Saunders and the Oklahoma Sooners.
Well, that was an instant replay, and it's really an instant replay of a year ago. We mentioned Oklahoma never led in regulation. They were kind of on their heels early in the fourth quarter when Jalen Saunders brought the crowd to life in Norman. 81-yard punt return. That made it 38-36 in favor of Oklahoma State. They went for 2 to the Sooners and tied it at 38 with a successful 2-point conversion. So for the second year in a row, he has ignited the Sooners with a punt return touchdown.
It looked like the same return. He broke it to the right, set it up down the middle, and broke it to the right. And I always say, if they haven't stopped it once, they're not going to stop it twice. Jalen Saunders, big play for the Sooners on special teams to get back in it.
Honeycutt kicks off. Justin Gilbert. One of the best kickoff return men in the history of college football. 6 career kickoff returns for scores. Brought that one to the 28. Monday Night Football comes your way with coverage beginning at 6:30 Eastern Time. Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. Then Tony Romo leads the Cowboys into Soldier Field to take on Brandon Marshall and the Bears. Also live on watch ESPN. Monday Night Football is at 8:25 on ESPN. The Cowboys 7-5, leading the East in the NFC. Des Roland, a Dallas product, gets 2 to the 30 on what will be the last play of the first quarter.
Big night for Coach Ditka. Monday night. His number retired.
Oklahoma and Oklahoma State for the 108th time. Des Roland got the Cowboys on top early. Saunders, for the second year in a row, took one all the way to the house.
People are leaving BMW, Mercedes, and Lexus for Audi than ever before. The holidays won't last, and neither will the exceptional values at the Season of Audi sales event.
Hey kids, watch Ocean Mysteries tomorrow at 10:30.
Part of the backdrop to this Bedlam game, the brothers Gundy coaching against each other. Mike Gundy, the head coach at Oklahoma State, was a great quarterback for the Cowboys. His younger brother, by 5 years, Cale, is the running backs coach for Oklahoma. He was a fine quarterback himself. And Mike Gundy, when we talked with him yesterday, said it's really not that big a deal. They almost forget that they're coaching against each other because there's so much else involved in this rivalry game. Quick pass by Chelf, and Brandon Shepard couldn't hang on with the freshman Zach Sanchez in coverage.
Well, this is a good play and a break by Sanchez, but they might be setting Sanchez up later on in the ball game for a double move, and one of the double moves is a hitch and go. But Sanchez was good and disciplined and came in and wrapped his arms up. That's why he was able to pop that ball out of there.
It's 3rd down and 8. Sooners blitz. Chelf has a lot of running room. First down, chopped down from behind by Charles Tapper. They weren't very disciplined there, it seemed, Chris, in their rush lanes, because Chelf had a couple of options here.
Yeah, and also they caught him in man coverage, and the big hole opens up right here, and that's the decision making of Chelf, understanding that it's man coverage down the field, all the defenders covering, his backs are turned, quick enough and capable enough of getting the first down because of a good decision made by Clint Chelf.
You got 11. Desmond Rowland. Will they catch him? Yes, inside the 10-yard line. Julian Wilson ran him down and saved the touchdown.
You know, the problem they're having is they're not getting a hand on the runners until they get to the safeties. Oklahoma State will have a hat on a hat. Good seal block by Stacey, number 9. Then Rowland makes the guy miss an open field, and he can do some work.
They come quickly back to the line. Rowland again from the 8 to the 3. Gabe Lynn made the tackle. So Des Rowland had a 75-yard touchdown. Called back on the first play from scrimmage for a holding penalty. That 51-yard run stands. And he's over 100 yards rushing in the half. Averages 55 yards rushing per game. Really running back by committee, with Chelf getting some carries as well. They spread out the rush yardage. Rowland got popped by Gabe Lynn, spun off it and got to the 1. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
Gabe Lynn hit him at the 3, and you mentioned it, spun off because Gabe came in there and just threw a shoulder. If he would have wrapped him up, it would have been at the 3-yard line as opposed to the 1. That's the power of Rowland running through that shoulder tackle.
And the diamond now around Chelf. And they give it to Kai Staley, and he is stacked up. Charles Tapper led the defense. And a decision for Mike Gundy on 4th and goal from the 1.
I think I try to go for it, Sean. Why? Because Oklahoma's having trouble stopping their running game. You have the power going. I think it's hard not to go for it if you're Mike Gundy. Sending a strong message.
We've seen that diamond formation a lot on tape, Chris, and they hand it off to all of those backs. So if you're the defense, you just can't expect it's going to be rolling with those fullbacks blocking. They might hand it to one of the fullbacks as well, as they did on the last play.
And they have a bootleg off of it.
Going for it on 4th and goal. They do give it to Rowland, and he's stopped for a loss. The Sooners hold. Gabe Lynn again up there at the line line of scrimmage. Chuka Indulaway also at the bottom of the pile. So a big play on special teams got the Sooners even, and now a big stand by the defense gives them the ball back.
Boy, hustle always wins the battle. Watch number 98 Indulaway make a play for his team to clean up for Gabe Lynn, the on-block player coming in to wrap up. Indulaway does a little bit of a swim move, and he does not stay on the ground. He goes to his knees, but he pops back up, wraps high to seal the deal. Outstanding effort, getting penetration, keeping his hands free, and making a play for the Sooner defense. Big play in a big game.
Oklahoma begins from its own 2. Trevor Knight in the pistol in the end zone. Brennan Clay searching for seam. Got a yard and then got splattered by Ryan Simmons and Daytwan Lowe.
Your Oklahoma's offense, I'm going to tell you right now, those safeties are so tight. If you want to take a shot, the area to attack the Cowboy defense is in the middle of the field deep because of the tight coverage and the run responsibilities of those Oklahoma State Cowboys safeties. Look how tight they are. Nobody beyond 6 yards at the line of scrimmage.
They ran Aaron Ripkowski off the field late. He's a fullback and tight end type, Ripkowski. Knight, quick throw out of the end zone, and the diving catch made by Sterling Shepard at the 10, a couple of yards short of the first down. Well, that's been a big difference this year for the Cowboy defense, Chris. Glenn Spencer, a little more aggressive attacking style, and he's quick to deflect the attention he's received. He said, hey, when you have great corners, you can play up at the line of scrimmage and a lot of press coverage and attack because you know those guys are going to cover.
Yep, and they do it, and they've responded. And when you get a veteran defense that understands the concepts and does not make mental errors, you can do a lot of things as a defensive coordinator.
Again, everybody up around that line of scrimmage. On 3rd down and 2 with 11 minutes to go in the half in a 7-7 game. Knight kept it, and he stopped short of the first down. Caleb Levy having a tremendous senior year, certainly a candidate to be the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. The leading tackler of the season for the Cowboys made the play.
And that's a play that a Big 12 Player of the Year will make, beating his man one-on-one, not giving himself up. And Coach Spencer is fired up. He should be, because Caleb Levy made a heck of a play on 3rd down to force the punt.
By Jed Barnett. And Spencer loves Levy. The young man has been criticized from time to time here locally. Some say he's too slow. He had trouble late in that game last year. Didn't tackle Brennan Clay on what turned out to be the game-winning touchdown. Levy's had to live with that all year long. The Colton Bester downs the punt. An excellent field position for Oklahoma State. When they come back on offense, they'll begin at the Sooner 41-yard line.
ABC College Football presented by Kay Jewelers. Brought to you by Ford. You could win a new F-150 and a trip for 2 to 4 BCS bowl games at Ford.com/BCS. And the ultra-intuitive M-Series Smart TV from Vizio. It's beautifully simple.
Back in Stillwater, one of the most important games ever played here. Oklahoma State trying to win the Big 12 championship for the 2nd time in the last 3 years. Prior to their Big 12 title in 2011, you had to go back to 1976 to find their last conference championship in the old Big 8. Folks here braving the elements. 17 degrees at kickoff. The wind chill near 0. From the Sooner 41, Jeremy Smith. Down to the 28-yard line, tackled by Frank Shannon, who was banged up earlier and has returned to the game.
Well, they're going to have a player in space to make a play. That's Gabe Lynn, number 9, coming up and does not even get a hand on him because he's coming out of control, not bringing his feet, settling down and making a play. And Smith just cuts on a dime, makes a miss, and gets to the 2nd level.
13-yard run for Jeremy Smith, senior from Tulsa. Gets the call again. Chopped down by Aaron Colvin. A gain of a yard. Oklahoma State's now rushed for 157 yards. They average 169 per game, so they've almost reached their average with 10 minutes to go in the half.
Really struggled at the beginning of the year running the football and really turned it on, and credit to that offensive line for getting it going, being challenged and responding.
A blitz dialed up by Mike Stoops, the defensive coordinator. Charles Tapper and Gabe Lynn made the tackle on Chelf. And here's a look at that Oklahoma State offensive line. They've done a nice job in not allowing sacks. Part of that is they get rid of the ball quickly.
I just think they've responded so much better in their run blocking. They're physical. They sustain blocks longer. And a lot of that's Chelf. I mean, he stabilized this offense, and the kids believe in him. And the running game has really been established the back half of the season.
And they like J.W. Walsh as well, their sophomore quarterback. He started earlier in the year. Pass not caught by Tracy Moore, who's had his hand on a couple today that you might expect him to come up with. Very good receiver.
Yeah, and this is not on Chelf. This ball should be caught. He has two hands on it. He's a Big 12 player. Got that big body in front of Quentin Hayes. A catch that needs to be made, should be made.
They don't try many field goals. They're so efficient in the red zone and scoring touchdowns. So Ben Grogan, the true freshman from Arlington, Texas, is going to attempt just his 16th field goal of the year. A 41-yarder. And that would match his longest of the season. He's just 1 for 4 from beyond 40 yards. And that one is good. Ben Grogan puts the Cowboys back up by 3 in Stillwater. Gundy has got Parker. Oh, he dropped it. Pat Jones and the crowd looked on in disbelief. Mike Gundy, 4-year starter at quarterback for Oklahoma State in the late 80s. Brent Parker couldn't hang on to that pass with under a minute to go in November of 1988. Oklahoma won 31-28. Gundy, in his 4 years, never had a win as a player over Oklahoma. Just 1-8 as a head coach. Here's Roy Finch. Good return to the 36-yard line. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, with the Cowboys leading 10-7, and the number that jumps out at me, Chris, that 160 yards rushing for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of yards because they're getting to the second level. Oklahoma is playing a lot of press man coverage, so if you don't make the tackle with that front seven, those defensive backs have tough duty getting off their men and making plays.
Jazz Reynolds is the injured player. Looking at his left foot or ankle, it appears. Senior wide receiver. Part of their wide receiver rotation.
I was thinking about Coach Gundy and his playing days. You know, he played with two of the all-time great running backs, Thurman Thomas, of course, and Barry Sanders. Both guys were my teammates in the pros, and they were so outstanding and complete as running backs, Sean, as Jazz has helped off the field.
And Mike was a terrific player as well. Certainly helped by having those guys, but Gundy was a 4-year starter. Led the Cowboys to a couple of bowl wins. Ended his career as the all-time leader in passing and total offense in the Big 8 Conference. And his name is still all over the Oklahoma State record books, and what a terrific job he has done. And I admire his perspective. We talked to him yesterday, had his son Gunnar with him. We talked about the fact that this isn't one of those places. They work hard, but he wants the coaches to have a life. During a lot of the year, he insisted they go home at 5 o'clock in the off season. Said typically during the season they're out of here by 7 o'clock.
Nice perspective. He understands, and they're a good football team and win a lot of games his way.
On first down, Brennan Clay. Good run on first down. He got 6. Lindell Johnson got him down. Here's Robert Flores.
Sean, Dr. Pepper 10 conference update. American Athletic Conference. UCF already has a BCS Bowl wrapped up. They can wrap up the outright conference title in the AAC if they beat SMU, but right now they trail the Mustangs 10-3.
Wow.
To the delight of our producer, Bo Garrett, a proud SMU alum. Trevor Knight keeps. Crowd thought there was a hold on the corner, as did the entire sideline. Mike Gundy livid as he charges down toward the officials. Justin Gilbert will be credited with the stop.
Well, let's see. I think he had a hand on the back, but I don't think he was pushing, and I can understand the frustration of Justin Gilbert. But then again shows why Justin Gilbert's a future first rounder. Not only is he outstanding in coverage, but strong in run support, beating off the block of the strong fullback.
Knight in trouble, running for his life, and throws it away. Lindell Johnson came on the blitz, and the officials are conferring about whether or not this is a grounding call.
While we're waiting for the call, they had the post deep middle of the field wide open, but the blitz was there and they weren't able to get the pass off in time, but they could come back to that. Gundy's getting a workout these past 2 plays. Here's Sean Saunders is wide open on that post, and they're vulnerable because of those safeties, but when you have a blitzing Patrick like Coach Spencer does, it's tough to get rid of that ball in those deep routes.
Back to the pistol on 2nd and 10. Midway through the second quarter. Oklahoma State leading by 3. A win and they win the Big 12. Knight. There is a flag down now in the offensive backfield. Calvin Barnett chased him over to the boundary.
Holding, number 72 offense. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
We mentioned him earlier, Derek Farniok, sophomore, making his first start. Tyrus Thompson had started at left tackle all year long, but unable to go with a leg injury, and Farniok has played very little all year long. That was a concern for Bob Stoops starting today.
It's a big concern. He's done a decent job filling in, but when you're playing a complicated blitzing defense, puts a lot of pressure on that young man.
Second and 20. Clay had some running room up the middle. Got swung forward by Tyler Johnson, and he's down with a gain of 5. Oklahoma with a win would have 10 wins for the 12th time in 15 years under Bob Stoops. He's averaged 10.6 wins per year.
Consistency in the program. Done an outstanding job over the 15 years he's been head coach.
8 conference titles, a national championship for Stoops, as we mentioned. Winningest coach in total wins at Oklahoma. Just a 3-man rush on 3rd and 15. Knight. Terrific run, but he's down about a yard short of the first down. Lindell Johnson stopped him, but it's close enough to make it a tough decision for Bob Stoops.
I think right now, if you do anything, you try to draw them off sides, but I'm of the belief that you go ahead and punt the football in this situation. And it's just as I say that, he's bringing in 2 tight ends, Rukowski and Brandon Green.
4th down, a short 2, about a yard and a half from just inside the 45-yard line of Oklahoma State. Nice play. Saunders started in motion, then came back to the near sideline. Knight pitched it to him, and it's a 1st down. And I guess, Chris, the decision is made easier when, as a coaching staff, you know in your mind you have a play like this you think can work in this situation.
Great job by Josh Heupel, the offensive coordinator, dialing up the dive option, but bringing back, it's almost like a counter because of the change of direction in the backfield by Saunders. Well executed under pressure by Trevor Knight, and a good call by Josh Heupel, the offensive coordinator.
12-yard run for Saunders, just his 3rd rush of the year. He hadn't had one that had gained positive yards in the previous two. On first down, Clay battles his way down to the 25-yard line. Here's Shannon Spake.
Well, Sean, down here on the sidelines, if you take a look at just how close the fans are to the players, and the fans are letting the Oklahoma players know that they are there. Jalen Saunders is also letting the fans know that he is here. He came over to the sideline a few minutes ago and he said, hey, you guys want another one of those? Of course, referring to that touchdown. I guess when you make 2 big plays in this huge Bedlam game, you get a little confidence, huh?
Mm-hmm. Just as long as it doesn't take away from your focus of what you're doing.
4.5 minutes to go in the half. Knight held on to it and lost the football. And it looks like the Sooners got it back. They did. Short of the first down marker, Caleb Levy made the play to separate Knight from the ball with help from his best pal, Sean Lewis.
Well, you see right here, Caleb Levy, they may say he's slow, but he runs fast because Knight is quick and he's out there chasing him down on the perimeter. Knight has to secure that football, understanding that Oklahoma swarms and they'll get hands on that football to knock it out.
3rd and 1. Saunders and Shepard got on the free ball. Clay, first down. And lunges ahead to the 19-yard line. Tackled by Ryan Simmons, the sophomore from Cibolo, Texas.
I just can't tell you how impressed I am with Clay. Just the toughness that he brings. Being able to get that first down and run through tacklers, and not very big. 5'11", 201. He runs like he's about 220.
They dismissed Damian Williams from the program. He had been suspended a couple of times during the year. For a while, he had been their featured back. Clay seen more action in recent weeks, and boy, is he doing a great job with the extra playing time. Bites close to another first down inside the 10. Over Howtow, Caleb Levy made the tackle.
A good read right there by Trevor Knight. And again, I'm going back to the power, Sean. He's fighting and clawing for every yard, and that fires up his teammates. The fact that they got that 4th and 1, that was momentum. That fires up everybody. And when you get a run like that, the offensive line galvanizes and they want to block harder and tougher and longer.
When Spencer's defense on its heels. Oklahoma trying to take the lead for the first time in this game. Play again. First down. 5-yard line. He got planted by Lindell Johnson. Well, last year Oklahoma didn't lead until they scored the winning touchdown by Clay in overtime to win 51-48. They don't want to wait that long today.
This is just this is perfect example of a game of who's going to be tougher, because both teams are going to run the football and they're going to pound it. And right now, both teams are answering the challenge on offense.
Think of these as past teams in recent years, but neither has passed for 45 yards in the game yet. Clay. Caleb Levy again. Gatwan Lowe up from his safety position. Glenn Spencer said to us yesterday, Levy wouldn't run a 5-flat 40 if you let him run it downhill. But all he does is get in on just about every play. 4 interceptions. The team leader in tackles. Academic All-American. Already has his degree. Working toward an MBA.
And the vocal leader. And you need a vocal leader when you have a strong senior class. You need one of those guys to stand up and take charge. And 45 does it for the Cowboys.
Long ball control drive, and now they're poised for the lead on 2nd and goal. Oklahoma from the 3. Clay drilled behind the line of scrimmage. Cowboys have had enough of that. Of course, Levy at the bottom of the pile again. Lindell Johnson.
Well, again, good penetration by Ogba, number 38, from his defensive end. And the Cowboy defense said, you had a goal line stand, Oklahoma. We'll match your goal line stand, at least for now.
Ogba, number 38, talented redshirt freshman. Oklahoma wisely not in any big hurry here. They don't want to leave time for the Cowboys. 14th play of the drive. Under a minute to go in the half.
We got Shepard matched up on their linebacker, Sean Lewis, in the slot.
Now with the play clock at 2, they call a timeout. 10-7 Cowboys in the final minute of the first half.
Flag.
Today's Athletic Trivia question: Oklahoma State has scored 20 or more points in 50 straight games. Second longest streak since D1 split into a couple of tiers in 1978. What's the longest streak? Which school has it? Oklahoma has had the ball in this drive for 7 minutes and 50 seconds. They're at the 4, trying to take the lead. 3rd and goal, 50 seconds to go in the half. Trevor Knight, straight back to pass, flushed from the pocket, nobody open, running out of time, and he's short of the end zone. Caleb Levy fast enough to get Knight out of bounds with help from Ryan Simmons, and Bob Stoops sends the field goal team on.
Well, this is disciplined in coverage. It sets it up. Number 11, Sean Lewis, is taking away any corner route, understanding he has help in the middle of the field. And you saw Ryan Simmons, the young man with speed, to make sure that Knight and Levy get there. Does not get into the end zone. Those linebackers all can run. Coverage sack for the Cowboys.
And Knight's walking toward the locker room. Michael Honeycutt trying to tie it, does with a 21-yard field goal. 22 field goals made now by Honeycutt. That's the single season Oklahoma record. And they're going to go take a look at Trevor Knight. 10-10 the score. Well, we mentioned they did a nice job clearing out the snow, but still plenty of snow in the stands here at Boone Pickens Stadium. The band vacating its seats to come down for halftime. 15-play drive ends in a field goal that ties the ball game for Oklahoma. Justin Gilbert dropped the kickoff, ran into his own man, and did not reach the 15. Dakota Austin first there for the Sooners. Let's answer the Aflac trivia question. You want to answer it, Chris? Which school holds the longest streak of consecutive games with 20 or more points since Division I split into FBS and FCS? You didn't cheat this week, apparently.
Is it Pac-12 team?
Oh, yes, you did cheat. Okay.
Southern Cal, could that be it? Southern California.
Yeah, okay. 63 straight games.
They had it going.
Nice. I tell you what, the man of your faith, you would think cheating on the Aflac thing would be a thou shall not.
We're accusing somebody of that, but
you just happen to have that one off the top of your head. Well, Oklahoma State's current streak is the longest. They have 3 timeouts, but with this poor field position, they're not going to use them. And the teams head for the locker room. Tied at 10. They'll try to get warm. Stay tuned at the half. John Saunders, Jesse Palmer, the Capital One halftime report, scores and highlights from around college football. But first, a visit, Shannon Spake with Coach Gundy.
Well, Coach, with the exception of that last drive, you guys were really able to stop Oklahoma's offense. What do you think about the way your defense played?
Well, we gotta come up with a little bit of an answer for the option, and then we got to do a better job of covering in the kicking game. And offensively, we got to continue to run the ball and get the ball thrown down the field a little bit more.
Some mental errors to start this game. What are you going to say to your guys right now to ensure that doesn't happen in the second half?
Well, we had a couple procedure penalties. It's kind of unlike us, so I think they'll settle down. They'll be fine.
Thank you, Coach.
Well, they did settle in, had 3 penalties very early, then did not have another one thereafter. 2 teams combined for 70 yards passing. That's a big surprise. 10-10 at the half. John and Jesse and the Capital One halftime report come your way right after these messages.
Arby's fans don't like when you mess with their classic roast beef sandwich. So why did Arby's make a version with this King's Hawaiian bun?
It's light, it's airy, it's just the right amount of sweet.
It really bumps up the flavor of the roast beef.
I believe the sandwich gods must be shining on us.
I can see them.
Arby's King's Hawaiian roast beef sandwich is back. Freshly sliced roast beef served on a soft, sweet King's Hawaiian bun. Or try the King's Hawaiian roast beef and Swiss, back for a limited time. Arby's.
Hey kids, watch Born to Explore tomorrow at 11.
Welcome back to ESPN on ABC College Football, presented by Kay Jewelers. Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research continues. We continue our commitment to the V Foundation. Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. At the half in this Bedlam game, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State tied at 10. Big development in the final minute of the first half during that long Oklahoma drive that resulted in a field goal. Trevor Knight appeared to injure himself as he went out of bounds, scrambling, try to get into the end zone on a third down play. He went to the locker room before the rest of the team, and Shannon Spake has more.
Well, Coach Stoops would not tell me what Trevor Knight, what he injured or where he injured it, which play he injured it on, but he did tell me that he'll be out for the second half. He will not be playing in the second half. It'll be a combination of Blake Bell and Kendall Thomas playing at quarterback. So that will certainly be a new look for this offense. But other than that, Coach Stoops told me they're going to stick to their game plan. He said focusing on third down will be key for them in the second half. That's where he feels that they haven't done a stellar job.
Well, the good news for Oklahoma, Blake Bell started 8 games this year. He was very effective in a number of them. Did not start 2 weeks ago at Kansas State because of a concussion, but obviously cleared to play, and that wasn't a certainty until just the last 24 hours or so.
Yeah, and it's a different type of running game with Bell. When he's in the game now, it's more of a power running game, quarterback calls, and also look for Oklahoma to take some shots down the middle of the field like Oklahoma State. Now, if Kendall Thompson comes back into the game, Sean, the zone read is back in play for the Sooner offense.
And both of these quarterbacks we may see in the second half are adept runners, but with different styles. Kip Smith kicks off out of bounds for Oklahoma State. A bad mistake by the Cowboy kickoff man to begin the second half.
Kicking team. Ball will be placed 30 yards from the spot of the kick. First down.
It looks like Kendall Thompson might get the first snap of the second half.
You know, I think the reason why that is happening is because he can run the option, and Coach Gundy mentioned going off the field at the end of the first half. And Oklahoma State defense didn't have an answer for the option, and Kendall Thompson is certainly capable of running the same type of offense that they like to run with Trevor Knight.
So it will be Thompson. And as you said, the offense is similar to what it would be with Trevor Knight, whereas Bell is more of a straight ahead power runner in the quarterback run game. Play action pass. Thompson throwing a deep ball, and it is intercepted. Kevin Peterson picks it off. He had the coverage on LaColton Bester.
I don't know if I'd throw this pass as the first one of the ball game for Kendall Thompson. Peterson does a good job. He's making his mind up where he's going with that football, deep and long. And it's underthrown and thrown inside toward the defensive back instead of outside where only his guy Belster can get it or nobody can get it. And Kevin Peterson. Big play for the Sooner defense and Glenn Spencer.
Peterson was once committed to the University of Oklahoma, then changed his commitment. Thompson had appeared in just one game, as you saw on the graphic, against Iowa State, just his 5th pass of the year. And it's intercepted. Jawan Seals turned the corner. Frank Shannon took him down. And that was the first turnover of the game by either team.
You noticed on that rollout, he had Bester running down those sidelines. He made up his mind where he was going. He had 2 underneath routes that were wide open. He tried to go deep to test him early. And Peterson with a big play for the Cowboy defense.
The turnover margin, a big key to this 10-1 season for the Cowboys. Now plus 17 for the year. Deep throw. Brandon Shepard the catch. Into Sooner territory at the 37-yard line. Well, you said it, Chris, in the half. Both teams need to try to take some deep shots and loosen up the defense, and they both come out slinging it deep.
Well, I think you have to because of all the man coverage that you're seeing and great adjustment by Shepard on the football while it's in midair, flipping those hips to make the catch.
Back to the ground with Desmond Rowland. Upended by Zach Sanchez. And it looks like they're going to try to go at a higher tempo now. Clint Chelf gets them right back over the ball. That's as fast as they've gone today. Sooners trying to blitz. Throw intended for Tracy Moore. He had Julian Wilson in coverage, and it wasn't close.
They tried to set up the little jet screen play action off the jet screen and hitting the play action deep. Good discipline by the defensive backs and Julian Wilson of not jumping on anything and playing their man and not looking back at the quarterback too soon.
3rd down and 6. They're on the fringe of field goal range. Coaches said 50 would be about the limit. Deep ball for Charlie Moore, and a flag is thrown as he went tumbling to the turf. He had coverage from Zach Sanchez.
Charlie Moore was looking forward to this matchup yesterday. He felt that he can handle Sanchez.
Pass interference, number 15, defense. Automatic first down.
Defensive coordinator Mike Stoops livid. That was, it seemed live, a borderline call.
Well, let's see right here. He's grabbing the shoulder pad, and he doesn't need to hold. Got away with a little bit of a push, and I think the ball was in the air at the time, so that could have been the call. And the right call.
And Moore helped sell it as well. And now a whistle before that snap on 1st and 10 from the 18, and a timeout called by the Sooners.
Timeout. Oklahoma. They're first of the half.
Cowboys poised to reclaim the lead in the red zone. Just underway in the 2nd half, tied at 10, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, as we look at our Pacific Life game summary. Oklahoma the big edge in time of possession, but almost a 2-to-1 edge for Oklahoma State in total yardage.
And Oklahoma has to find some type of game through the air. As you can see, 28 yards passing. Not going to do it.
87 now passing for Oklahoma State. They've had the one big play on this drive, trying to capitalize on an interception. Desmond Rowland ahead to the 15-yard line. Chuka Ndulue made the tackle, and again, very fast tempo for Oklahoma State for Mike Yursich, the offensive coordinator. Chelf throws, man wide open, touchdown. Desmond Rowland puts the Cowboys back on top. Cowboys at 42 yards passing at the half. They had 60 yards passing on that 82-yard drive. Ben Grogan puts the lead back to 7. With a new quarterback in the game, Oklahoma turned it over on their first play from scrimmage of the half. And then the Cowboys went 82 yards in 6 plays. Rowland scores his 2nd touchdown of the game from 15 yards.
ABC College Football, presented by Kay Jewelers. Brought to you by Dr. Pepper 10, the manliest low-calorie soda in the history of mankind. And Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
It's been 25 years since Oklahoma State's Barry Sanders won the Heisman Trophy in 1988. One of the great individual seasons in college football history. 2,628 yards rushing, 3,248 total yards, 39 total touchdowns, all of them college football records. And of course, this year's Heisman Trophy winner will be revealed next Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, live on ESPN from New York. Jameis Winston, the favorite to win it. Oklahoma State up by a touchdown as Roy Finch returns the Kip Smith kickoff. And the tackle made at the 28-yard line.
Sean, you made a great point about tempo. Tempo can cause confusion right here between number 19 Striker and number 42 Dominique Alexander. Now watch, you got two guys looking at each other, not knowing what's going on, and they're just going to run a little bit of a wheel route, and they're in man coverage. And if you make a mental mistake in man coverage, oftentimes you're penalized with 6 points. The tempo caught him off guard. They did not communicate. I got him, you got him. Everybody gets somebody, and nobody did, and you got a touchdown.
Oklahoma State wins. It wins the Big 12 title, and they're off to the Fiesta Bowl in all likelihood, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Very slim chance they could play in the national championship game. Kendall Thompson still the quarterback, and Ryan Simmons took him down on his first carry of the game. And if you're just joining us, Trevor Knight played the first half and was very effective in the running game. Ran for 47 yards, averaged more than 4 yards per carry. But he got injured late in the half. Blake Bell is available, cleared from his concussion to play. Much more experienced quarterback, but they're going with the sophomore Thompson from just down the road in Moore, Oklahoma. And his pass could not be handled by Sterling Shepard, the son of late Derek Shepard, former standout player.
Blake Bell coming in to maybe get something down the field. Going to go to the 2 quarterback system. This is a difficult circumstance for a quarterback to come in on 3rd and 9. He'll go make a play.
And there's Blake Bell, who started 8 games this year. 4 receivers, 3 to his left.
Good man coverage. Oklahoma State feels like athlete for athlete. They're better.
They went 6-2 with him as the starter this year. Steps up and throws, and a diving catch made by Jalen Saunders. Well, they're going to mark it short of the first down yardage.
Boy, Sean, this is again coming off the bench, and he actually makes a decent throw, but he can't be warmed up throwing the football a little bit short, and you can see it right on the line. They marked it short of the first down, but a good effort by Saunders to bring that in.
Yeah, terrific job. And it looks like they're going to review the spot as the whistle stops. David Ames probably taking a look at it.
Previous play is under further review.
Saunders immediately questioned the spot, and it did look like it wasn't favorable for Bob Stoops and the Sooners. But the question is, and it's so hard to judge where you move the ball, if you decide, okay, it wasn't a great spot, do you give him the first down?
That's pretty
not an exact science.
No, and that line isn't exactly official, close we can get, but right there it looks like it should be on
just about at the 38-yard line. They marked it back closer to the 37. He's down as soon as he catches it, then he rolls over back toward the 37, and that's where they marked it. They marked it back where he finished after the roll. Greg Burks is the referee. So Blake Bell into the ball game. Their best thrower, he's completed 60% of his passes. That's the highest among the 3 quarterbacks who've seen action this year. He throws for 151 yards per game. 6-2 as the starter this year, and had some big games for them earlier in the year. It was surprising to me, Chris, that they went to Thompson instead of Bell to start the half, given the dramatic difference in the experience level, especially in a game of this magnitude. But I think they like the running plan they had. That
After further
Thompson
review,
better.
the ruling on the field stands. 4th down.
It's just so hard, even with the replay. It didn't look like a good spot, but where do you put the ball?
Right. Exactly, and just to go back to your point, you're right. They like the running plan and the option game that Kendall Thompson brings to it, but you're going to move into this ball game. If that's not effective, then you have to go with Bell and start tossing the ball around the yard to give yourself a chance.
Punts to Josh Stewart. Fair catch signal. Cowboys get away from it. Down to the 26. Some question if it hit a Sooner prior to Bester downing it. 39-yard punt. Tonight on ABC, Jameis Winston and the top-ranked Florida State Seminoles had to secure their spot in the BCS National Championship game with a win over 20th-ranked Duke. The Dr. Pepper ACC Championship game tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. And here's this week's Heismanology, Joe Tessitore's poll of the ESPN folks, including Chris and me, who have Heisman Trophy ballots, and here's how they stacked up this week. Winston just ahead of Jordan Lynch, but Lynch's chances took a big hit last night in Northern Illinois' loss in the MAC title game, the Bowling Green.
Braxton Miller making a run, and I want to see A.J. McCarron up there.
Screen to Jeremy Smith, and he swung down at the 30 by Julian Wilson. Well, I think Winston's going to win it in a runaway. But to me, the guy who ought to be up there in every ballot is Andre Williams of Boston College. Not to diminish his teammates, but you talk about a guy who everybody in the stadium knew he was going to get the ball in just about every play, and he still put up ridiculous numbers. He had a remarkable season as a running back for BC.
Really did.
That pass incomplete, intended for Tracy Moore. He and Chelf still can't get on the same page. Quentin Hayes broke it up.
Nice job by Quentin Hayes, played man-to-man on Tracy Moore. And again, the discipline not to hang on the receiver, but to get that right hand to knock it away. And Sean, he's been late and behind to Tracy Moore for the 3rd time today, because he's actually open if he puts it out in front.
Moore doesn't have a catch. Second leading receiver coming in, a Sooner blitz, and the pass incomplete. Nowhere near Charlie Moore. Zach Sanchez had the coverage.
That's a miscommunication between Charlie Moore. As you see him, I don't know if he got pulled up like or treating it like a cramp, which would be the first ever in -9-degree temperature. But that was obvious miscommunication, or if he pulled up because of the cramp.
Kip Smith on to punt. Fair catch signal made by Jalen Saunders at the 21-yard line. 49-yard punt and no return. Here in Stillwater, it's warmed up all the way up to 21 degrees. One of 2 big games in the Big 12 today. There's only one other conference game, Baylor at Texas. Baylor and Texas and Oklahoma State all 7-1 in Big 12 play. We're watching this game outside Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco, knowing how much it impacts that game. They're all cheering undoubtedly for Oklahoma to upset Oklahoma State. Kendall Thompson is the quarterback. He swung it out to Sterling Shepard. Both their sons were former Oklahoma players. Caleb Levy, another tackle. So that's the situation starting today. A 3-way tie. If Oklahoma State wins, they clinch a share of the title, and they would receive the BCS berth automatic out of the Big 12 because they win the tiebreaker. They beat both Baylor and Texas head-to-head. Oklahoma has no shot to win the title. But don't say that they have a chance to be a spoiler. Bob Stoops said that is the lowest form of motivation a competitor can have. They have a lot of other things to play for beyond spoiler. Thompson taken down for a loss. Back at the 19. Jimmy Bean made the tackle.
Yeah, Jimmy Bean takes a shot right here on Kendall Thompson, and again it's the zone read, and Kendall Thompson really nowhere to go. He was a bad decision if he gave the ball or if he kept it, because Oklahoma State defense executed that with discipline and understanding of what they were trying to be attacked with.
There's a redshirt sophomore, Kendall Thompson, the son of Charles Thompson. Corey Thompson, his dad, played quarterback in the late 1980s at OU. And the lefty fires, and it's incomplete. Jazz Reynolds didn't really extend for that throw. And it'll be a 3-and-out with Kevin Peterson, who once committed, as we mentioned earlier, to Bob Stoops in coverage. Peterson changed his mind when a couple of the Sooner coaches who recruited him left, most notably Brent Venables, who left to go to Clemson to become the defensive coordinator with the Tigers. Josh Stewart back for the punt from Jed Barnett. High and a fair catch made. Both punters doing a nice job on this cold day. 41-yard kick and no return. Help Us Beat Cancer. The V Foundation awards 100% of direct donations and net proceeds of events to fund cancer research. Log on to www.jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4JIMMY-V to donate. Of course, it was founded in 1993, announced by Jim Valvano at the ESPY Awards in that speech that no one who heard it will ever forget. And a great legacy for a great man.
Tremendous amount of money for research.
Desmond Rowland ahead for 2. I know how much it touches your heart. You lost your first wife Stephanie to cancer, and you and she, with the help of so many, have raised so much money for cancer research. Based in Columbus, Ohio, millions raised by you and your family.
14 million over 4 years, 5 years, 14 years, excuse me. 4 million over 4 years. I don't even know. It just is incredible because I get a little shaken up talking about it. But just no, that's all right. The support has been wonderful as Rowland takes off down the field.
Chased by Alexander and taken down by Colvin, who deserves credit. He is playing with a very sore shoulder, but wasn't going to miss his last Bedlam game. Figures to be a very high draft choice. Might have been easy to sit out and make sure he heals himself up, but no way he was going to come out. Again, they're struggling to line up on defense as Oklahoma State snaps the ball. And Rowland runs to the 42. They've used a timeout on defense early in each half. And several times here lately, Chris, they're not lined up as Oklahoma State has upped the tempo.
And that's good coaching and recognition by the press box of the Oklahoma State coaches, seeing that they're struggling getting their signals in. So you go tempo and you have half the Sooners looking over the sidelines for the call.
Oklahoma State leading by 7. Jeremy Smith powers inside the 40, down just short of the first down. Chuka Ndulaway another tackle. Plays called by Mike Yursich, we mentioned earlier. First-year offensive coordinator, and he came to Oklahoma State from Shippensburg. Unlikely path. Mike Gundy literally scoured just about every level of football before he settled on the offensive coordinator that he wanted. On 3rd and 2, Smith lowers the shoulder and has the first down. There is a flag down the offensive backfield. He says first down, but Smith didn't see the flag.
Number 67 offense, 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
What a huge penalty on Brandon Garrett.
Yeah,
wipes out the first down.
It did, and almost had to hold the guy because they were getting penetration on Brandon, which forced the ball to bounce outside. See right here, Brandon Garrett, number 67. Ndulaway gets away again with a nice rip and good clothesline tackle by Garrett. Good call by the officials. Sometimes it gets missed inside there with the big fellas.
Now 3rd and 12. Sooners showing blitz. And they bring the blitz. Well picked up, and Chow's pass is incomplete. Josh Stewart in the crowd wanted a flag on Quentin Hayes, and there is no flag.
Quentin Hayes was looking around to make sure there wasn't a flag. And it's a pretty good read, and give Quentin Hayes credit matching up against bigger receivers, smaller wide receivers breaking on the football. Might have been there just a tad early, but it's a bang bang play. But another drop ball by an Oklahoma State wide receiver.
That's a good receiving crew on this cold day. They haven't really made many plays, and Chelf's been off target from time to time as well. Smith's punt used the Balata ball, and it came all the way back near the 40. Thomas a little frisky there, diving on it. I think his teammate Caleb Gastelum there told him just get away from the ball. It had already been touched by the Cowboys, it seemed. Tonight on ESPN, a spot in the Rose Bowl on the line. 7th-ranked Stanford takes on 11th-ranked Arizona State for the Pac-12 championship. Presented by Dr. Pepper. That's tonight at 7:45 Eastern time on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN. Stanford continuing its run of excellence under Jim Harbaugh, and now David Shaw, and Todd Graham, the Pac-12 Coach of the Year.
Deservedly so. He's done a wonderful job turning that program around. Up-tempo against old school.
Think Todd's going to stick around for a while there in the Valley of the Sun?
I think he's happy there. He got a nice little bonus.
My goodness, read about his bonuses in USA Today. Wow. Success has been rewarded. Thompson going deep again and has a man, and it's just too long for Sterling Shepard.
Sean, this is where you have to attack. Again, they're so good on defense and their safeties are solid, but they play up. Sterling Shepard beats low in coverage and the ball's just overthrown, but you'll come back to that because it's there and it's been there more than once this afternoon.
Well, taking a couple of deep shots here in the third quarter with Kendall Thompson in the game. They have just 6 yards of offense in 8 plays, most of them with Thompson in there. Bell made a brief cameo. Brennan Clay carries for about 2. And the clock runs under 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Oklahoma State leading 17-10. If the Cowboys win, they clinch a tie for the Big 12 title, and they would wrap up the automatic BCS berth because they win the tiebreakers with either Baylor or Texas, who go head-to-head today.
You know what? I like the decision staying with Kendall Thompson. Last third down, they brought Bell in the last series. Now you're going with Kendall Thompson. He's throwing a nice ball. He really is. He's in rhythm and he looks confident.
1 for 9 on third down. Each team has just 1 third down conversion. Certainly the cold has made it a little tougher in the passing game today. Thompson chased. Hit as he throws. Lindell Johnson came on a safety blitz. Well timed by Glenn Spencer and well executed by this Cowboys defense.
Yeah, they do a good job of playing man-to-man. Lindell Johnson's on what they call a green dog. When a running back blocks, he turns it into a blitzer. This way he cuts off any type of scramble lane that Kendall Thompson might have been entertaining.
Josh Stewart back for the punt. Kendall Thompson just 1 for 6 passing for 1 yard. 7th punt by Barnett. It looks like they got a piece of it. It'll roll dead. Well, it was touched by the Sooners to the 25. They might bring it back for a yard. Zach Craig got a piece of that punt.
Yes, he did. Good job avoiding the contact, although it wouldn't have been called because he did get a piece of it.
It was almost too close to him.
Yeah.
Had to slow down to avoid running by the punter. And Craig, backup defensive back, senior, playing at his last home game from Spring Branch, Texas. Mike Gundy's had great success recruiting in Texas. So many years as Oklahoma dominated this rivalry, they had the decided edge in talent. That is not the case anymore. Josh Stewart, the ball carrier. Matter of fact, Chris, I would say in this year's edition, these two teams, Oklahoma State's the team with more talent.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Sean. And 71 players from the state of Texas. So there's a pretty focused attention on that state. A lot of great football players in Texas.
Clint Chelf throwing deep, and it is caught. Nice catch by Josh Stewart. That's the good news for Oklahoma State. The bad news, if he hits him in stride, he had a lot of running room as well. He was wide open.
And this is one of the rare times that Oklahoma doesn't bring pressure, allowing Josh Stewart to come across the formation in the cleared out zone to make the catch.
21-yard gain, design run for Chelf. Yanked down by Frank Shannon at the Oklahoma 44-yard line.
Concentration, eyes on the football, understanding it's going to be hard hitting that ground, but maintains control of the football to keep the chains moving for the Cowboys.
Josh Stewart had a terrific career at Oklahoma State. Pump fake, deep throw, and it hung up too long. Charlie Moore open for a moment, but Gabe Lynn had time to get over there from his safety spot and break it up.
Beautiful execution of cover 2 with your safety helping out the corner who gets beat on a double move. Gabe Lynn taking the proper angle to break it up. They felt like Sanchez was vulnerable to the double move. They hit the double move, but Gabe Lynn making a play covering the back of his corner, number 15, Zach Sanchez.
Under 5 to go in the third quarter. 3rd down and 5. Cowboys at the Sooners 43. A blitz got picked up and the pass is intercepted. Chelf tried to force it in to Stewart, and Julian Wilson stepped right in front of it. First turnover of the ball game by the Cowboys, and the first interception of the year for Julian Wilson.
Just a great patience right here by Julian Wilson. Josh Stewart came out, Sean, throwing a lot of shoulder fakes.
Julian Wilson stayed patient in his coverage, read the quarterback's eyes, and a beautiful break on the football to create a play for the Sooner defense to help the Sooner offense.
Each team with one turnover. Both turnovers have happened here in the third quarter. An interception for each team. Oklahoma defense been very solid all season long, 13th in the country in total defense. One of the criticisms has been not many takeaways. They have 19 now. Missed their 12th game of the year. Kendall Thompson throws to an open receiver and a first down. First catch of the year for Brandon Green, ordinarily a blocking tight end. But he was open, and he got to the 44 of the Cowboys.
Now this is what I'm talking about. Just a couple of series. Thompson starting to get a rhythm, and right there's a frozen rope, literally, to Green. He's looking more confident, and the coaches are calling a confident game for Kendall Thompson. Sean, they're letting him throw the ball, and they're setting something up now. You can go deep, or they come back to that little option game that worked so well in the first half.
First and 10, first down to the half for Oklahoma. Thompson throwing again too high over the head of LaColton Bester. Here's Robert Flores. Well, apparently problem with our connection to Robert. He works from his palatial studios. We'll try to reconnect with Row Flow. Second and 10 from the 44. Oklahoma down by a touchdown. Reverse. Jalen Saunders picks up blocks. One man to beat. Gilbert slowed him down long enough to bring some help. First and goal, Oklahoma. Into the bag of tricks, and it pays off beautifully.
Well, not only a reverse, but the old double reverse. And watch Thompson. Says, I'm going to help this team any way I can, either throwing, running, or catching a block and getting in the way. And an outstanding job by Justin Gilbert downfield here, saving the play as he beats Eichert, a very talented center, to save the touchdown. But a great call with the double reverse for Josh Heupel, who's dialed in.
37 yards on that play. Big day for Saunders, who had the punt return for a touchdown. Thompson throws it away wisely. He was under duress as soon as he turned. Lindell Johnson has been a very effective blitzer today for Oklahoma State, was the man applying the pressure.
And disciplined in their routes. That was man coverage. They tried to run a bootleg, but Oklahoma State all year has been disciplined in playing their assignments and not trying to do somebody else's job, but doing their job. And when you do that, good things happen like it did on that play.
3.5 to go, third quarter. Second and goal, just inside the 8, and Clay pads popping as he ran into Caleb Levy.
Well, this is how you fill a hole, with attitude and determination. And it helps when you don't get blocked, but he comes in with his head up, his eyes up, and wrapping up. Watch his head. See that? He keeps his head up and does a great job of sealing the deal. He's instinctive. What he lacks in speed, he makes up in instincts, which helps that speed, and he gets to where he's supposed to be on time.
Blake Bell back in at quarterback now. Will it be a power run? He is flushed immediately. Got away from James Castleman. Throws! Touchdown! Did he have it long enough? No! Brandon Green had it, but then it got popped away by Daquan Lowe. You wonder if Green was a little nonchalant at the end of that catch. Looking down to make sure his feet were in bounds, Chris, and he didn't really tuck the ball away.
You're exactly right, Sean. He's looking to see his feet, and I give credit to Lowe for not giving up on the play and knocking it out of there. If he would have saw Lowe coming instead of looking down where his feet would have been, then he would be able to secure that football and brace himself for the hit.
Clearly never had possession. Huge play, and those are the kind of plays that win or lose rivalry games. For the second time in this game, Oklahoma gets inside the 10, kicked the field goal last time. Now it's a fake, and it is a touchdown. Grant Bothan, the holder, threw it to the kicker, Michael Honeycutt. They weren't content to drive inside the 10 and kick another field goal. They want to tie it up. And those are the kind of plays that decide rivalry games.
Take a bow, Coach Stoops. I love the call. And you're trusting your kicker. Your holder's going to throw a touchdown pass to your kicker. I bet you that won't be said again today.
And we asked Bob Stoops the other day, what's this rivalry like? Oh, it's just like every other in-state rivalry game. I don't really think he believes that in his heart.
Not with that call. What a great call and executed by the holder and the kicker. Would it be football players, guys?
Touchdown. Previous play is under further review.
We're going to review it. Make sure Honeycutt had it. He took a pretty good shot at 176 pounds. And they want to make sure he had possession, got into the end zone.
You play man-to-man in the fake, but oftentimes when you play man-to-man,
it's definitely a catch.
Nobody has the kicker, and he is across the goal line before the ball comes loose, and all you have to do is cross the plane of the goal line with possession of the football to get the touchdown.
And the thrower is behind the line of scrimmage, which was the 8, so that's not even close either. So it's a legal forward pass. That's a catch. Took several steps with it in the end zone, no doubt. Touchdown, Caleb Levy with the hit, but it was too late.
Sean, you play man-to-man in this situation, and again, sometimes you're vulnerable because you don't account for the kicker. And Boston, number 84, delivers a nice throw. That's not an easy throw to make if you're a holder and he throws it on the run.
I don't know why this replay review is taking so long. In the passers behind the line of scrimmage, it's a catch. He's well into the end zone.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Yep. Good job by David Ames in the replay booth. Goes as an 8-yard touchdown pass. The holder, Bothan, the sophomore, to Honeycutt. Semifinalist for the Lou Groza Award. Now he has to clear his head and focus on this extra point to tie the game. I doubt he's been hit that hard very often. Missed only one extra point all year. Well, it's called Bedlam, and it's turning into just that again. Tied at 17 late in the third quarter. Time for today's Good Hands Play, brought to you by Allstate.
Well, they get him in man-to-man, Sean, and it's normally the case in field goals. They take two guys, take the tight end. Nobody accounts for the kicker. And the result is Honeycutt is going to get his touchdown catch. And a beautifully thrown ball by Bothan, number 84, the holder. And I love Honeycutt holding on to that football, even though he's taking a shot from 45 Levy. And look at the hands of Honeycutt. Adjusting those hips. Finishing.
I can't wait to our next meeting with Bob Stoops. Coach, tell us about your kicker. Well, he's great hands.
Yep, there you go.
And he's tough. 176-pounder. Absorbing the hit. His kickoff went out of bounds.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
So that'll take a little shine off his grade.
First down.
Hey, I'm a touchdown scorer. I'm not a kickoff man.
He's turning into a diva wide receiver already.
Yes, he is. Next thing you know, have a neck roll under whatever that little handkerchief is around his neck.
Let's see what the response is for Oklahoma State. Now remember, when Oklahoma State goes tempo, there's been a communication problem on the Oklahoma defense. And also, Oklahoma State had success in the first half, pounding that football right up the middle.
Clint Chelf handed it off. Jeremy Smith a yard, and that's all. Ran into Eric Stryker, who was coming in a little hot.
Yes, he was, Stryker. He was coming in hot, and he's been a good football player, an undersized linebacker. They use him as a Mike linebacker. They use him as a pass rusher. This makes plays for Coach Stoops.
The Oklahoma drive that tied it, 7 plays, 60 yards, the fake field goal. Set up by the interception by Julian Wilson. 2nd and 9. Chelps thrown for just 132. They stick with the ground game. Desmond Rowland comes up about 3 short of the first down. Tackled by Dominique Alexander. We're under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
They've been awful on 3rd down conversions today. 1 of 9. They're in a manageable 3rd down. And Josh Stewart, number 5, is the guy they've been looking to, working one-on-ones on these crucial 3rd downs. Also, they like the little jet sweep with him.
Stewart has 4 catches. Neither of the Moors have a catch. Stewart's very close on that action. Looks like they're going to mark him just shy of the 45, and the yellow line doesn't matter. They needed to get right to that 45-yard line. They're a half yard short. And Mike Gundy sends the punting team out.
Oh, great stop and a huge play. Defense rises up and gets it 3 and out.
And this is the part of the field where, if you're so inclined, the Cowboys, you could dig into your bag of tricks. You also don't want to make a huge error late in the 3rd quarter with the Big 12 championship on the line for your team.
Sooners are playing punt safe. So they're expecting that also.
They didn't have enough men on the field. They ran a man on late.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Rather than burn the timeout, they just take the 5-yard penalty. Kendall Thompson and the Sooners have not led. Remember, we mentioned earlier when they won last year in overtime against the Cowboys in Norman, they didn't lead until they won the game on the game-winning touchdown in overtime. Saunders the fair catch of the 25. Here's Robert Flores.
All right, Sean, you had a little gadget play in your game. How about in the Conference USA Championship game on ESPN2 between Rice and Marshall? Luke Turner, the flip to Derek Dillard. And Rice looking for their first outright conference title since 1957, leading 34-17 on ESPN2.
Some great stories all around college football. All these schools with the really smart guys like Rice and Stanford and Duke prospering. Blake Bell back on the field. Thompson a spectator for the moment. You just tuned in. Trevor Knight, starting quarterback, hasn't played in the 2nd half with an undisclosed injury. It looked like a hand injury suffered late in the 1st half. Brennan Clay on what might be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Got it to the 28.
There was a zone read, and we talked about that. Blake Bell is not as better running the called quarterback runs, but he's certainly capable of running the zone read.
Looks like it's going to be the end of the quarter. They are starting to head to the other end of the field. Well, they've had so many classics over the years, and this one's shaping up as another. Julian Wilson, the interception, led to the trick play that has Oklahoma even once again. It's Bedlam. We welcome you back to ESPN on ABC College Football, presented by K Jewelers from Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater, Oklahoma. 108th meeting between the Sooners and the Cowboys, tied at 17 as we go to the 4th. 2nd and 7 for the Sooners, who have not led in this game. Blake Bell, one of 3 quarterbacks to play today for the Sooners, in the pistol formation ahead of Brennan Clay. Clay breaks a tackle behind the line and runs for a first down. Tackled down low by Ryan Simmons and hit up high by Lindell Johnson.
This is what inspires offensive linemen and your teammates in rivalry games. Bedlam, when you run like this, where you're determined, where one guy will not bring you down, you're going to fight and punch and do whatever you have to do to get an extra yard. And that gets that sidelines fired up over there, and the offensive linemen get fired up when you got a running back running with that type of passion.
9-yard gain. They stick with Bell, their starter through most of the year. Sterling Shepard again, a missed tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and that turns into an 8-yard gain. Daquan Lowe made the stop at the 45-yard line.
Some people might be asking why they're going to 2 quarterbacks. Well, they have packages that both quarterbacks use and do better, and they might feel like against the defense that Oklahoma State's putting out on the field, Blake Bell's package can attack that defense with more efficiency. And plus, he's the veteran. Bring him out there and see what he can do.
Trevor Knight won the starting job in the preseason. Started the first couple of games, but then he suffered a knee injury. Bell started the next 8, and he left with a concussion. Knight returned to start their last ball game, and Knight again today before he left with an injury. First down for Brennan Clay to the 48-yard line. Clay a hard-earned 61 yards rushing on 17 carries. Blake Bell, the quarterback, a junior from Wichita. They come on a blitz. He throws off his back foot, up for grabs, and a flag thrown. Daquan Lowe yanks Sterling Shepard down. And some woofing after the play.
It's a nice call with the play action set up, and Lowe was beat deep. Does not know where the ball is.
Pass interference, number 8, defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So he makes the decision rather than getting beat deep.
Wow.
For a touchdown, I'll go ahead and clothesline him or get the pass interference and not take any chances of it being 6 and just take the 15-yard penalty.
In the college game, it is 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. They're creeping into the edge of field goal range here for Honeycutt, one of the best kickers in the country. Pistol now for Bell again. Oklahoma State crowds the line. A win, and Oklahoma State clinches a share of the Big 12 title in a BCS bowl game. Right now, they're in jeopardy of falling behind for the first time today as Clay runs for 5 more to the 32-yard line, and the clock will run under 13 minutes to go.
Sean, I want to give credit to number 72, Derek Farniok, getting his first start. Had a heck of a block right there, pushing the Oklahoma State defensive lineman into the pile and knocking them downfield. Outstanding job for the young man getting his first start.
And without their starting left tackle, Tyrus Thompson, and without their left guard, Adam Shedd, they've still rushed for 161 yards today. Clay couldn't find the hole, and he's yanked down right at the line of scrimmage. Sam Wren, backup defensive lineman, and here is a huge third down, and which side will convert on a third down? They're combined 2 for 21. Oklahoma's 1 for 11.
Who can win man-to-man coverage? Knowing Coach Spencer, he's going to play man. Be surprised if he doesn't bring pressure.
Right on the edge of field goal range. 50 is about the extent to which Bob Stoops and his staff have said they'd try one with Honeycutt.
Here's the matchup right there.
Bell throws in the flat. Looks like a first down. Saunders, well, where are they going to mark that? Looked like he got to the yellow line again, but they're marking it appears a little short, and the line judge, David Oliver, signaling 4th down.
Oh, well, we circled that. That's the matchup. Why? Because Lowe was playing way off, and you have 5 yards to go, and you got a safety playing 12 yards off. That's where I'm going with the football. He just cut his route a tad short.
Well, they're in field goal range for sure, but Bob Stoops on 4th down and inches is going to go for it, and you wonder if there's going to be another replay review.
The ball was short of the line to gain. Previous play is under further review.
You see the yellow line is right along the 27-yard line. And it looks like when he extends the ball, he's well inside that 27-yard hash mark.
but on the field they've marked him short of the 27-yard line. Similar replay review earlier on a catch made by Saunders when it looked like he got right to the line to make. They marked him a yard short, reviewed it, but then decided they couldn't move the ball. Well, his knee's down right there, and that ball really isn't to the 27.
Yeah, then the ball.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
And again, so hard when you're trying to judge where the ball was when the knee was down. And unless it's conclusive in that instance, they're just going to stick with the call on the field just about every time. So one of the best kickers in school history, Honeycutt, within his range. Bob Stoops on this bitterly cold day going to go for the first down.
I like the call by Coach Stoops.
It would be a long field goal. It would be almost 45 yards. Bell out of the pistol with Brennan Clay behind him. Long count. They didn't jump. Clay has the first down inside the 27-yard line. Didn't get it by a lot, but got what he needed. Sean Lewis, the tackle. And another first down for Oklahoma.
Trust is something you have in a running back that you know is going to get that yard. He gave him the ball because he trusts him to fight and claw for every yard he can get.
I think Oklahoma should just skip third down and go right to fourth down. They're 3 for 3 on fourth down today. Third down hasn't worked out so well.
1 for 12 on third downs.
Yeah, that would qualify, I think, as not so well. From just inside the 27. Bell again. Cowboys creeping up near the line. Bell wrapped up, got rid of it. That ball didn't go across the line of scrimmage. Gundy saying to the referee, Greg Burks, that should be grounding. Tyler Johnson had a hold of Bell.
You see the strength of 252 pounds and 6'6" will allow you, as Tyler Johnson's coming off the edge, getting depth and trying to take the big fella down, but Bell keeps his composure and is able to throw it away out of bounds. And I don't know if you can determine, Coach Spencer was trying to help the officials out with a little flag motion, but I don't know if you can determine whether that ball is thrown away on purpose because he has a guy hanging all over his body.
And Brennan Clay was underneath it, even though it sailed well over his head. Bell 3 out of 5 passing off the bench, and there's a timeout called by Oklahoma just before the snap, so that leaves the Sooners with just one with 10:46 to go. Tied at 17 at Dandy and Stillwater.
This telecast is available in high definition. Brought to you by Vizio.
Oklahoma State tied at 17 in the fourth quarter. So much at stake. Oklahoma with a win clinches a share of the Big 12 championship with the winner of the Texas-Baylor game, and the Cowboys with a win would wrap up a BCS bowl bid. But if they lose, the winner of that Baylor-Texas game wins the Big 12 outright. A lot of Bears and Longhorn fans cheering for these Sooners. Sean Lewis made the tackle on Brennan Clay, who's down 2 yards short of a first down. Case McCoy, the Texas quarterback, said during the week, I'm going to cheer for Oklahoma, even though that makes me sick to my stomach.
That's the beautiful thing about college football. And here's the matchup. They got Saunders in the slot, working on low.
Blake Bell on third down and 6. 1 for 12 on third down. Comfortably in field goal range now. They want a touchdown, obviously. Bell throws the quick slant, incomplete, intended for Shepard. And with 6 yards to go, Bob Stoops isn't going to go for this fourth down. Honeycutt comes on.
Tyler Patman, the transfer from Kansas, does a good job of playing that slant route and arriving and making the cut at the same time the wide receiver makes the cut. Not a bad decision for Bell to overthrow that ball.
Patman graduated from Kansas, had a year of eligibility left. He's been a huge lift to this secondary in his 1 year at Stillwater. Honeycutt now for the first lead of the day for Oklahoma. 39-yard try, and that is right down the middle. With 10:01 to go, Oklahoma leads the Cowboys by 3.
ABC College Football, presented by Kay Jewelers. Kay Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with Kay. Hyundai, make the holidays shine even brighter. Now during Hyundai holidays. And the new windows.
Back at Boone Pickens Stadium, Oklahoma leading by 3 tonight on ESPN. A spot on the Rose Bowl on the line. Stanford trying to go back. Takes on 11th ranked Arizona State for the Pac-12 championship, presented by Dr. Pepper tonight at 7:45 on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN. Michael Honeycutt, one of the stars of the day, kicks off. He's kicked 2 field goals. He scored a touchdown. He squibs one down the field. Picked up by Desmond Rowland. Good return. Right up the near numbers. Brought it out to the 36. Here's our Pacific Life game summary with under 10 minutes to go and Oklahoma leading by 3. Trevor Knight started, played the first half, injured late in the half during a long drive that resulted in a field goal. They trailed at the half. Actually were tied at 10 at the half. Kendall Thompson off the bench threw an interception. Oklahoma, a big field goal. That touchdown pass from the holder, Grant Bachman, to Honeycutt, tied the game, and now Honeycutt, a field goal, has given them their first lead. Shelf zips one. Tracy Moore still doesn't have a catch.
Got an assist and a good defensive play by the umpire right there. And Shelf is a rhythm passer, Sean, and he hasn't been in rhythm all day. You look at it for the day, Oklahoma State has only thrown for 135 yards, and for this offense to be clicking, it has to operate at a better efficiency than that.
They had 2 long scoring drives, and that's about it. A 99-yard drive for their first touchdown. They went 82 for the other. The inability to convert on 3rd down has really hurt them on their other possessions. Jawan Seals got to the 44, a little bit short of it. And it's 3rd down and a long 2.5. Shelf hasn't been able to get into a rhythm all day. This would be a good time to find one. Has plenty of time. Zips one deep down the field, and the flag is thrown. As Stewart turned back toward the ball, Quentin Hayes had his back turned, didn't know it was coming, and got tangled up with the intended receiver.
Interference. Defense, number 10, 15-yard penalty, first down.
You can see right there, Quentin Hayes does get there in time, and I tell you, I think he would have been okay if right now he looks back for the ball just a little late, and you see that left hand get there early. A good call by the officials on the double move going down the field.
No question about the call. No argument from the Oklahoma sideline.
And you know, that ball being underthrown actually caused that pass interference. If that ball was well thrown over the top, it's either touchdown or incomplete.
Stewart on the jet sweep, dumped at the line of scrimmage. Charles Tapper.
Koenig got handled by Tapper, and Tapper said, if I'm not going to make the tackle with my hands, I'll use the butt of the offensive tackle and throw him into Stewart, and exactly what he did.
Quiet here now, anxiety. Fans came here with the Cowboys favored by 10, expecting to celebrate their second Big 12 championship in 3 years. It might happen, but they're going to have to rally. Shelf pulled it down. Took a pretty good hit as he got to the 38. Tapper not appropriately named there. That was more in the tap.
Yeah, he's a good football player. And a good decision by Shelf. They tried to run an option look and hit something deep off the play action. Nothing open, and Shelf does a good job. What I like, he covered the ball with both hands when he saw the contact coming.
3rd down and 5, not in field goal range. Perhaps 4 down territory inside the 40-yard line. Sooners crowd the line. They bring a blitz. Shelf throws single coverage and incomplete for Charlie Moore. Didn't look like he would have had a chance to catch it in bounds. Moore was hoping to take advantage of the freshman Zach Sanchez today, but he hasn't had a catch Boy, that would have been inbounds.
Yes, it would have, and that's a drop, and that's a blown opportunity for Oklahoma State. And you hit on it earlier. If you want to win rivalry games, you make a play when you have an opportunity to make a play. If you don't, you can cost your team, and that's a big play. Now, don't forget, Charlie Moore also had the holding call on the first play of the game, and Roland went the distance. 2 missed opportunities for Charlie.
Tip Smith on the punt. They're positioned to down it, and they do. Oklahoma down 2 of their punts at the 1-yard line, and now the favor is returned. Stanvon Taylor well positioned. 37-yard punt. Tonight on ABC, it is the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship game. That's at 8 o'clock. Top-ranked Florida State against number 20 Duke. Duke's due. They've lost all 18 meetings against Florida State, and none of them decided by fewer than 19 points. But this might be the year. A great year for Duke football. The school record and wins. Longest winning streak since 1941. Trying to really upset the BCS National Championship game picture with an upset of the Seminoles tonight in Charlotte. From their own 1-yard line, leading by 3, 8 minutes to go. Oklahoma. Clay got driven back into the end zone, but he made it to the 1 before he ran headlong into Caleb Levy.
Well, this is the second time this happened where he comes unblocked. And watch this, on contact, he does not go to his knees, and he brings his feet on contact, and he wraps up. But I got to tell you got to get over the chalkboard and say it's probably pretty wise to block the middle linebacker on a run up the middle. And Caleb's smart enough and just really a good solid tackler and an outstanding college linebacker. I don't know if he'll have a future in the NFL, but he certainly has made his mark in college football.
Credited with 5 tackles. Certainly seems that he's been in more than that. He's forced a fumble. Bell, trouble with the snap, got it back. Anxious moment for Bell and the Sooners, and now a man wide open. Sterling Shepard, look out from behind. Dajuan Lowe trying to strip it. Shepard down in Oklahoma State territory at the 42-yard line.
And Sean, they're going to get a flag because the official tripped over an Oklahoma State assistant coach. So you'll see that coming. Oh, no, Oklahoma assistant coach, excuse me.
I want to correct what I said on the down punt. It was Ashton Lampkin, number 6 for Oklahoma State, who downed it. They inadvertently credited to a Oklahoma number 6.
This just reminds me of the Mike Tomlin incident when the coaches get excited.
There is no foul for sideline interference.
Why not?
First down, Oklahoma.
Well, the official on the far sideline, you can see it live during the play. He took a tumble. Wow, talk about from a near disaster, Chris, to a huge play, 57 yards.
You see, keep your eye on the top of the screen.
Oh, they're in the white area.
Yeah. All right, play ball.
In a game like this, they didn't want something like that to be a factor, and you can understand. I mean, it wasn't intentional. They were trying to back up and get out of the way, but Eugene Hall, the side judge, still hit the deck.
He threw that flag quick too when he hit the deck, and he was in the white. And you know, it's probably all in all good. No call in this type of situation.
I guess enforce the letter of the law, you call it. But I think in this game, in this situation, they weren't trying to trip him. You know, Mike Tomlin, you could certainly argue that he was trying to get in the way, despite his claims to the contrary. Only he knows for sure. Brennan Clay on 2nd and 10. Upended Ryan Simmons, and really, Chris, a point in the game with 6 minutes to go. This Cowboy defense, if they want to win a conference title, likely has to rise up. Oklahoma, at the very least, not far from field goal range.
Be interesting here. I would play it safe if I'm Coach Stoops. I don't want to throw anything in the middle of the field. I want to go ahead and make sure I at least have the opportunity to punt for good field position.
Blake Bell. They only have 1 timeout left. Both sides trying to change the call. Only a 3-man rush. It's a screen to Bester, weaving his way through traffic and down short of the first down. and likely short of field goal range as well. Down at the 36-yard line. Tyler Johnson made the tackle. And a big decision here for Bob Stoops. It's a long way to go, about 4 yards on 4th down. So he's going to try to pin them in very deep and lean on that defense with under 5 minutes to go.
Now, that was a safe call and the right call by Coach Stoops. And Oklahoma State had the right defense, dropping 8 so they could rally to the football on the jet screen.
And Josh Stewart, dangerous return man, but you'd have to think here they won't give him a chance to return it. Jed Barnett already has had 2 punts down at the 1. And they take the delay of game penalty. And make it a little bit easier for him. Doesn't have to take quite as much off it to keep it out of the end zone.
And while we're talking about good special teams play, number 7, Trey Franks, you see him out here in the corner, has done a good job of downing that ball, knowing where he is on the field.
10 men up for the Cowboys. They came after it. Got a piece of one earlier. Tumbling kick. Stewart got away from it. And that one's going to roll dead at the 11-yard line. Roy Finch down there to down it. A lot of interested people watching this one, particular Baylor and Texas fans. Oklahoma leads by 3. Here's this week's BCS standings, brought to you by Vizio, Florida State and Ohio State, each with conference championship games tonight, 1 and 2. The consensus seems to be if they each win, they're each going to be in the championship game. Auburn, Alabama, Missouri, and this Oklahoma State team hoping for a stumble. It'll be a long shot for the Cowboys to get there. Not going to happen at all unless they win, and they're really up against it now. 4:27 to go. Down by 3. They start from their 11. And the pass caught by Josh Stewart. Out to the 25. Even with 4:22 to go, they're going very quickly to the line. A 14-yard gain. For the Cowboy offense, it's been a case of no more. No catches by Tracy Moore or Charlie Moore. 2 of their best receivers who had combined for 72 catches coming in. They've each had a drop or 2. Charlie Moore had a key holding penalty on the first play of the game. Chelf throws a wobbler, and that time Charlie Moore hangs on.
He hangs on by taking a shot too, Sean. Number 9, Gabe Lynn's going to come in here and give him a pop, and Charlie Moore secures the football, makes a tough catch over the middle for the Cowboy offense.
27-yard gain. Chelf comes out slinging. And he's 2 for 2. Look to throw the swing wide open. There's Tracy Moore. So neither Moore had a catch. Now they're both involved, and they're in field goal range with 3.5 to go.
They worked on a true freshman, Dominique Alexander, on a swing route. Dominique chased after the swing, and Tracy Moore, with just a little bit delay, snuck across the middle, the area where number 42, Alexander, vacated.
Stewart, Charlie Moore, Tracy Moore. 14, 27, 21. Chelf again. Man open. Caught by Tracy Moore. First and goal at the 5-yard line.
The fans want more, and you can see Chelf. When he's in rhythm, he's on target. Right now, he's in great rhythm.
23-yard gain. Struggled to pass all day long, and now they can't miss. So quickly from their own 11 to the Oklahoma 5. Trying to reclaim the lead. Roland up the middle. Pulled down by Quincy Russell with help from Dominique Alexander. All 3 timeouts left for Oklahoma State. Just 1 left for Oklahoma. And the clock goes under 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, you might want to slow the tempo down here, and it's not a bad idea to use as much clock as you can and still run the offense and the plays that you want to play. You just want to take away the opportunity for the Sooner offense when they get the ball back.
Second and goal. From the 3. 2.5 minutes to go. Conference title on the line for the Cowboys. Rolling down to the goal line. Marked short. He hit and bounced. Frank Shannon credited with the tackle, a half-yard short of the goal line.
Well, the Sooners had one goal line stop in the second quarter. They're going to have a chance to have another goal line stop right here.
Well, they held in the second quarter with 7-7. Looked like a good spot.
Yes, sir.
Knee was down, and then he lunged forward just inside the 1. Third down and goal. Under 2 minutes to go. Sooners up at the line. Touchdown, Des Roland. The rivalry is called Bedlam, and this place is Bedlam. The Cowboys perhaps a minute 46 away from a Big 12 title. Huge extra point. The 4-point lead means that a field goal on the next possession does Oklahoma no good. Ben Grogan, the true freshman, puts Oklahoma State on top by 4. They went 89 yards in just 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Really showing the form, Chris, of the Oklahoma State explosive passing teams of recent years. A pass game that's been dormant almost all day. And the Moors, Charlie and Tracy, out of the witness protection program on that drive.
Well, they made big plays with their team, and the whole key was Clint Chelf getting in rhythm, and by going up tempo and getting him in rhythm, really helped this offense play to its full potential, and they started attacking downfield. And Charlie Moore made a great play in that in route. Sean, he came back for the football, understanding that he was going to take a shot from Gabe Lynn, but he made the play when the play needed to be made. That's what seniors do in rivalry games.
.89 yards, 7 plays. Roland has scored all 3 Cowboy touchdowns. Chelf was 4 for 4 for 84 of those 89 yards.
Plenty of time here for the Sooner offense. Got a veteran that's played a lot. Blake
Just
Bell.
the 1 timeout left. That hurts. Had to use one on defense very early in the half. Kip Smith. Short kickoff. Caught on the run by Brennan Clay. And then he's taken down at the 34-yard line. Dion Amade, special teams tackle. Tomorrow night on ESPN, don't miss the bowl selection show. We'll unveil all of the matchups for the bowl season. The experts will preview most anticipated games, reaction from head coaches and players as the games are revealed. It's the bowl selection show tomorrow night at 9 on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN. Will the Cowboys be going to the Fiesta Bowl? That question will be answered in 1 minute and 41 seconds.
It'll be interesting to see what Glenn Spencer, the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, decides to do. Keep the pressure or play a little safe so nothing gets behind.
Blake Bell, they set up a screen. Sterling Shepard going to be spotted down just short of the first down at the 43. It's a 9-yard gain, under 1.5 minutes to go. So Zach Craig made the tackle.
It's amazing how the passing game has just gotten involved in this football game out of the blue.
Bell 6 out of 9 off the bench. They rush 3. Bell throws, caught at the Oklahoma State 40-yard line. Shepard again. They'll mark it at the 39. Daquan Lowe the tackle, 18 yards. Back come the Sooners.
A confident throw, Sean. Thrown to a spot, trusting that his receiver would be there, and he was.
Bell throws over the middle, too far out in front of his intended target, Jalen Saunders. There is a flag down. He was gesturing that Zach Craig had a hold of him, and the official on the far side of the field agrees.
Well, Jalen Saunders can work some moves in the slot, and that's tough duty for safety Zach Craig to line up over top.
Pass interference, defense. First down.
Right here. Now watch this move. This is tough duty for Craig. Understanding where his help is. See that little shake, he gets inside. And Craig is probably wise to hold on that because he's got clear sailing to the safeties if he doesn't get the pool.
Good call. And the official on the far sideline had a very good angle of the jersey yank. Bell out of the gun. Throws single coverage for Bester. Jump ball! And it is intercepted! And ruled incomplete now. Gilbert had it and couldn't hang on.
Well, I don't know if I want to attack the best corner in the country in one-on-one coverage, and Josh Gilbert has the ball secured, and give credit to Bester.
They're going to review that, certainly.
Let's see.
Did he have possession of the ball? I mean, he seems to have it in his arm. Is he down? Well, they don't review it. Bell takes the snap, launches toward the end zone. And it's incomplete out of the back of the end zone, intended for Jazz Reynolds. Oklahoma snapped the ball so fast, even if David Ames wanted to stop it in the replay booth, he didn't do it quickly enough.
Nice heads-up play by the Oklahoma sidelines, understanding that could have turned the other way, and they run right to it.
Now you know why they call it Bedlam. That's what it has turned into here, especially in the final moments. 49 seconds to go. 3rd and 10. Field goal really does them no good. Down by 4 and only 1 timeout left.
Cowboys are dropping 8.
And rush 3. Bell all kinds of time. Very close to the line as he throws for Jalen Saunders, who has a first down. At the 17-yard line, they'll stop the clock to move the chains.
Good awareness by Bell of understanding where he's on the field and understanding where his receivers are, reading the progression on the run.
Bell throws, single coverage, end zone, incomplete. Looking for Jazz Reynolds. Tyler Patman had the coverage. Well, the line of scrimmage on the previous play, the 30-yard line. And
yes, good awareness.
He's behind the line.
Good awareness by Bell where he is, and awareness of where his receivers are on the field. Dangerous throw across his body, but it worked out.
2nd and 10. They have the 1 timeout to go. Just inside the 18-yard line. Bell pressured, even with the soft rush, out in the flat place to get out of bounds. Gets the first down, then goes out of bounds. 1st and goal. They're going to mark it at the 7-yard line. And now plenty of time.
Nice job of avoiding the tackle. Joe Mitchell getting extra yards and the awareness to get out of bounds.
Mike Gundy all the way down near the 10-yard line to call a timeout with his defense on its heels.
How about the response from both offenses? Answering each challenge with their own. And right here, Sean, this is a good awareness by Brennan Clay. And Mitchell, if he gets him on the ground, that clock is running. But Clay has the awareness to break the tackle and fight for the extra yards and get out of bounds.
It's good awareness if Mitchell doesn't tackle him in bounds. But he made the play. And let's go back to the near interception by Gilbert. Looked to us live like he had it. They never did stop the game to review it because the Sooners snapped the ball so quickly.
See where he comes back down.
Well, there. It's when he hits the ground, though, that it pops out. And in my opinion, it's a good call.
Yep. Tough call, good call.
Incomplete it.
Bang, bang. Play defense.
1st and goal from the 7. Bell, a threat to run, particularly with a timeout left. He throws, far corner of the end zone. Saunders again. Touchdown. Definitely a catch. Both feet in bounds. Possession the whole way. Saunders, who helped turn the game for Oklahoma last year with a punt return for a score, returned another punt for a score today. and now has the go-ahead touchdown with 19 seconds to go. Honeycutt's extra point makes it a 3-point game. Oklahoma State on the wrong end of this rivalry so often over the years, and today a comfortable favorite on the verge of losing again.
Well, how about Blake Bell throwing it to the back pylon? It's all set up. We have double slants. What that does is hopefully you knock off defenders and you run to the back flag. This is a timing route all the way. Saunders does a good job of pushing inside on Johnson. The ball's thrown to the back flag, perfectly timed, well executed. Saunders secures the catch, getting both feet in bounds. Blake Bell leading his team down the field for the game-winning drive, executing under pressure.
He was 5 out of 8 on the drive for 57 yards. When you talk about how crazy games can be, particularly rivalry games, I mean, Blake Bell seemed to be the logical choice to start the second half. He started 8 games this year. Bob Stoops went to Kendall Thompson at quarterback, who played in 1 game all year and thrown 4 passes. But at crunch time, Bell took them 66 yards in 8 plays. Just a minute 27 to do it. Credit both offenses for delivering down the stretch. Nick Hodgson kicks off, squibs it, gets a nice bounce for the Cowboys. And it's returned by Teddy Johnson.
You have 2 timeouts to work with. You can work the ball into the middle of the field, and you want to get yourself in position so that Chelf has enough room, enough arm strength to throw the Hail Mary into the end zone.
And a field goal would get them into overtime. Ben Grogan has a long this season of 41. That includes one he kicked today. He had one other 41-yarder. Just 2 for 5 beyond 40 yards, though. Chelf, 4-man rush. They got close, and he throws incomplete. Had to get rid of it. 3 seconds come off the clock. Stryker and Tapper among those applying the pressure.
Mike Stoops is playing man-to-man with safety deep. He trusts his guys to make plays. Aggressive till the end.
Three wide receivers to the left of Clint Chelf. 4-man rush, and again he's pressured. Killing valuable time. Tapper takes him down back at the 31. 2 seconds to go. 1. And a timeout called by Oklahoma State.
Well, somebody that stepped up is making plays all day is your defensive end Tapper. Now watch the separation he'll create with his inside right arm, then use his speed to get around the corner. See that push? He creates a separation with that sleeved arm and has the speed and agility to finish. Chelf.
That is the first official sack of the game for either team from Tapper, the sophomore from Baltimore, Maryland. His team leading total now 5.5 sacks. And it's going to take a miracle if Oklahoma State is going to win the share of the Big 12 title. Gentleman in the hat on the right of your picture just went out of the screens. Joe Castiglione, the Oklahoma athletic director, does such a great job. And we said before the game, hey, if we win today, we're alive for a possible at-large BCS berth. They can't win the Big 12, but at 10-2, they're certainly in the conversation, particularly with Northern Illinois losing last night.
Yeah, they are. Really a great win and 10-win season again, but a good lesson to be learned for young players at Blake Bell as you get ready to run. Never gave up. Trevor Knight was the starter, stayed in the game, and here you go.
Now it's going to take a miracle of 70 yards for Chelf. They rush 4. They'll try to lateral it around the field. Seals, Stewart, rolling. They're going the wrong way. It's over the head of Chelf. And it is run into the end zone by Eric Stryker for a touchdown on the last play of this Bedlam game that lived up to its name. Oklahoma upsets Oklahoma State. Sooners said they weren't playing to be spoilers. This game means much more than that, and they had much more than that to play for. But they do deprive their in-state rival of any chance now at the Big 12 title. The winner of the Baylor-Texas game will be the Big 12 champion outright and get the automatic berth into the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Here's Shannon Spake.
All right, Coach, let's get this straight. You come into the second half without your starting quarterback. You throw an interception. You go for a fake field goal. What were the emotions like in the last 2 quarters?
Well, I'm really proud of the players. They hung in there with all the injuries. Now we lose our quarterback. Blake Bell came in, was fabulous. Kendall Thompson did a nice job. Kids just kept fighting, you know, and we got a few breaks.
Tell me about that last drive with Bell and Saunders, watching that kind of take place.
Well, you know, Jalen can make people miss him. He's hard to cover, and Blake throws a good ball. He stayed in there, was ready to play, and he made some big plays down the stretch.
The decision to stick with Thompson despite the interception instead of going straight to Blake Bell, why did you guys make that?
Well, our game plan coming in was a lot of the zone read, a lot of the option game with the quarterback running, and Kendall does that, you know, pretty well as well. So that was the reason.
Thanks, Coach. We'll let you get to your celebration. Jalen Saunders, what back-to-back big plays in this Bedlam game. When they called your name and you knew the ball was coming to you in the end zone, what goes through your mind?
You know, just keep your composure. You know what you got to do. You know, stay disciplined in the route.
I saw you having some fun with the fans behind the bench. Can you just describe what this Bedlam game is like for you guys?
You know, there's a lot, you know, trash talking going on with the fans and us, you know, but I felt like that helped us, you know, whatnot, you know, get the game going, whatnot. So it was an excellent job by our team today.
When you caught the ball and you knew that you got the touchdown, what do you think? Another big game, another big play?
Man, I just real happy to catch the ball, you know, just knowing I just won the game for us.
All right, well, we'll let him get to the celebration. We're going to try to get some more players down here in just a bit. Big game. We have Blake Bell and Michael Honeycutt down here. Well, okay, so they come into the second half, and you know that your starting quarterback is out, but you know that you have the ability to win this game. What was the second half like for you guys?
Well, I mean, originally coming out, I was just trying to get warm and loose, and you know, knowing my time is coming, then I was going to be ready for it.
What did you see on the game-winning touchdown that you knew that was going to work for you guys?
Well, I just saw Jalen one-on-one with that guy, and he had a great route, and I put it out there for him. He did a great job catching it.
Were there any doubts, just considering the fact that you hadn't played the first half, and I saw you trying to get warmed up on the sideline for a while?
Well, yeah, I was just getting warm was a big deal, and other than that, I was just excited to be out there and help my team win.
All right, Michael Honeycutt, the kicker who made the touchdown. First of all, I got to ask you about getting tackled by Caleb Levy. That was a big hit you took there. Most guys wouldn't be able to recover.
Yeah, it was a big hit, but I'm just glad I got a touchdown. I'm just glad I got the win today.
So they give you the call and they tell you that it's going to go to you and you're going to have to run it in. What do you think?
I'm excited. Big game, third quarter, you know, it's down a couple points. Good to get a score and get the momentum back.
What does it mean to be part of this Bedlam rivalry and now to go down as a kicker who made a touchdown in this Bedlam rivalry?
Oh, it's awesome. I'm really glad to get a touchdown in this rivalry game. I'm glad I got the win for all our seniors today. They deserved it.
Thank you very much. You guys go enjoy this celebration. What a day here at Bedlam. A very cold day and a very great football game.
It was a classic, befitting a rivalry of this magnitude and this history. And the history dramatically in favor of Oklahoma delivers a punishing blow to Oklahoma State. Be sure to tune in to ABC tonight, 8 Eastern, the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship game. Number 1, Florida State, and number 20, Duke. That's tonight on ABC. Now for Shannon and Chris, Sean McDonough. So long. Let's head to the studio for the postgame report.
Thanks a lot. John Saunders alongside of Jesse Palmer. Notice how the kicker was taking credit. I won it for our team. That's about a $6 million loss, perhaps, for Oklahoma State. And what a way to lose it.
John, it's what you love about rivalry games. We've seen this all last week and last weekend. You saw it again today. The underdog always playing up. Oklahoma made the plays they had to make in critical junctures to win this football game. You take a punt to the house, you get a goal line stand on defense. Bob Stoops was gutsy, 3 for 3 on 4th down on offense. They fake a field goal, score a touchdown. You lose your quarterback at the end of the first half. Blake Bell's unbelievable with poise at the end of this game, and the defense stepped up, gave up some rushing yards, but really it was a big-time performance. And now the Big 12 and the BCS turns upside down again. The winner of Texas Baylor wins the conference outright and goes to the Fiesta Bowl.
Do you think that Ward has made it to the sidelines right now? Sure, the coaches know, right? They've talked from the booth down to the coaches saying, if we win this game now, because that game is underway right now.
The sense of urgency goes way up for both of these teams. And previewing that football game, it's going to come down, I think, to which defense plays the best. It's